Welcome to episode 11 of Flippin Tin. As always, I'm Jake with Longley from Telia.
And I am Sky, tailed scales. I ain't skipping out on you. I ain't drinking beer tonight, but I'm gonna be drinking a beverage that keeps me lit for this episode.
It's
I
still
hope y'all are
mixing.
ready for this schnizzit.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun one. Hopefully, everybody's seen our post the last couple days about tonight. We didn't keep anything a secret tonight. We'll be joined by Mr. Phil Wolf again, and this will be an Everglades recap. Me and Sky recently did a trip to South Florida, and we were kind of all over the place. Found a lot of cool stuff, and had a great time. So this is basically just going to recap that and tell all of our stories, the good, bad, the loop road, and it'll be a fun one. What's up, Dustin? Glad to see you here, and you're the only one in here so far, so that's cool.
Hell yeah. As long as we got Gron in the chat,
Yeah,
we're
as
good.
long as Gron's here, I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. So, but
So we're
so what's anything new on your end there, Sky, other than catching up on life?
yeah, I mean, obviously this little herb trip just finally I haven't been herping in a minute since Preston came down to help me move. That was legit the last time I actually had time to get out. The couple times that I was like, oh, let me go hit some roads really quick. I had my trailer attached to my truck and it was just going to be too much
Yeah.
of an ordeal by the time I got out there. So, dude, no, I haven't been doing much. Just trying to keep up with the collection in life. And then this little herb trip, since I've been back this week, I've been going hard. Legit still haven't caught up on sleep or
Same.
anything because I did not take the you guys listen to the network, you listen to SFX, you heard the boys talking about the pro moves of going on a trip or like a Daytona weekend. It's you always take the day or the day or two after the trip off, and it's so you don't look like me right now. And yeah, your boy, we came back Sunday afternoon, fucking worked an 8 hour day basically once we got back. Then freaking worked all day Monday, and then it kept the ball rolling the rest of the week. So I'm freaking cooked. But this freaking all we've talked about on the backside is how bad we need to get back to the Everglades all week because of how sick this weekend was and how worth it was for the loss of sleep and the amount of
Yeah.
miles we drove. I mean, Jake not only drove down through two states, but then he drove all over the bottom of South Florida, which collectively is like the size of two or three states. So Jake put in some miles collectively this weekend. If you had a tracker on him, he probably could have went the length of the United States in all reality. Like
It
we
was
were out there cooking some miles on the road this weekend,
that
guys.
was the most amount of time I think I've spent in a car for 3 days that I've done in
You were in a car
life.
for 3 days straight,
Yeah,
basically.
pretty much. Other than sleep, which little sleep that we got. This was the rocket run of all rocket runs, man. What we were able to accomplish, and how late we stayed up and everything we did. It was just it was a lot. It was good though. Luckily, I was smart and I took off Monday from both my jobs. So Monday I got to kind of just lay around. Although I really wasn't. I had to get up and do snake stuff and all that. And I'm like you said, I'm still catching up in the collection, man. I was doing waters today. I had another clutch laid today, so I had to deal with that. And yeah, it's been nonstop. And then I was back to work on Monday and we just been rocking and rolling, but constantly talking and thinking about the Glades, man. Because that was just it's a magical place, man.
The
God,
Glades
it's
fucking
great.
get you, dude.
Yeah,
It's been too long since I've been back down, and that trip was like the igniter, man. Not only was it like the perfect like inaugural trip for you to get down there and just freaking feel the feeling of the Everglades and see all the shit on our.
yeah,
I mean, we went down there. Obviously, we've been planning this trip for a while, but it just so happens that the weekends lined up, which we should have been paying more attention, but we were just trying to three guys collectively line our schedules up. It just so happens it was on a full moon and a tropical storm's coming through. So
I
the
wasn't.
tropical storm would have probably helped us
Yeah,
out, but
I think the tropical storm made it better than it would have been with the full moon.
yeah, but
The
that
tropical
full
storm helped us out big time, but yeah,
we
the full
we
moon
had
just
a giant
definitely,
spotlight in the sky all night.
yeah, but it still worked out, man. We caught some good stuff. But yeah, I mean, this was I think this is the first trip I've done since the camping trip that we did in April. So that was like 2 months ago. And then, other than local stuff, man, I hadn't really been doing much. I've been kind of slacking with breeding season here, and everything's just going kind of nuts. So life's been busy for sure, but glad we did this trip. But we're going to save the nitty gritty for when Phil gets on. He's going to pop on here in a little bit. He's a little busy right now. So we're going to wait on him. But in the meantime, we do have some write ins. But before we get into that, we do want to make an announcement on t shirts. So it's these shirts right here. Last time we did a run, it was pretty much like you sent us a whole order. We ordered them all in bulk. I worked it out with Smitty over at Fulvius Apparel. And basically now they're just going to be made to order. So you can message the page if you want a shirt, and I'll give you my payment details. They're going to be the same price, still $30 shipped. So that doesn't change, but now it's going to be when you message me, I'm going to have Smitty make it, and then I'll ship it to you as soon as possible. I don't have to wait around anymore. So realistically, probably should have done that in the first place, but you live and you learn. So
We were
we're
no, the first time though was because of the hats though. Because
oh, that was more of a hat
that
thing.
was the only issue.
That
This time,
we're not making the hats available for just whenever. The shirts will be. We'll do a run of hats again, specifically like in later in the future if anybody wants them. But for now, yeah, I forgot about the hats. But yeah, so the shirts are just available. If you want one, you missed out, message us and we'll get one to you. So but yeah, no hats. So
yeah,
that's
the gear works. Don't let
it
anybody tell
does.
you lies. This shit'll get you right. It'll put you on game. It'll put your life on fire. I mean, the homies. Some of them are slacking on sending pics. We'll break your neck later. I'm gonna slap you in the back. But we've been getting pics on the back end. This stuff works, okay? The gear works. We've been making
Telling
it
you.
successful. I mean, I didn't even change the whole weekend because after the first night of success, I was like, you okay? You ain't catching me without this on.
Gotta
Let
wear
me
this
get
shirt, man. Yeah, it's weird because like literally ever since we made these shirts, man, like cool stuff's been happening every time I get in the field. So
oh, dude, I don't like now. It's
something
like
good.
I'm scared to not go out without it because it's like I'm like, all right, I'm either not going to see something, and then all right, maybe it isn't anything, and I do see something. I want to be wearing it when I do get the good catch. Like
Yeah,
so, I definitely got to be. I need another shirt for sure because it once it's dirty, I'm not gonna try and wear it till it's so sour.
yeah, yeah. Definitely should have thought about that and made a couple of them. But
Once you get some musk on that thing after a night or two and some
yeah,
bugs, you're
no,
like,
it's just christened at that point, man. But
stings the nostrils. It's
yeah,
real pungent, natural smell.
oh yeah, real good, real good. We got a
Yeah.
couple more people in the chat. Glad to see everybody. Dustin, we already mentioned you. We love you, buddy. Will with 217 Pythons. What's up, man? Brandon Valentine, as always. Appreciate you, bud. Dustin with West Kentucky Exotics. Nate with Croccast Podcast. What's up, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in tonight. We're hoping to have a pretty good turnout this evening. We've been pumping this one up for the last couple of days, so hopefully get some good peeps in. But with all that out of the way, I say we jump into some write-ins. What do you say, Sky?
Who are you going to start with, my friend?
We're going to start with Sir Don and Miss Jasmine from Baller Nothing.
Is that as far down as you have? Because I did open an
No.
earlier message this week. Okay, from
Yeah.
Devin. I just don't want to
Yes.
miss it.
Yeah. I
Okay.
have. Yeah, I've got Devin. I've got Ball or Nothing, Devin, Nieserg, and Nipper.
Perfect. Okie dokie, sweet. Just want to make sure we were on the same page, my friends.
Yes, so yes, so we really should communicate this a little better.
I mean, I did wake up from a nap 15 minutes before the podcast.
I pretty
So
much just go through all of our messages and make sure I don't miss anybody. So, it be what it be. Let's hope that we don't have any problems, technical problems this week.
it makes it more fun, bro.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Just throw that 3 milli sugar glider in the upper deck and let it ride.
Oh, you already know I got my sugar glider in.
Yeah, you guys, Jake almost got me fully addicted to Zins by the end of the weekend.
You literally asked for them, so I don't want to hear it.
I mean, yeah, you started the freaking nicotine addiction. Yeah, of course I'm going to ask for them.
You asked for them in the first place. I don't
That's
want to
how
hear
the addiction works. What do you mean? Like,
what do you want me to tell you? No,
you
you're a
mean
grown
the
ass
crackhead
man.
came back for crack? Yeah. Oh, shit. God. Oh my God.
What are you doing?
I just pulled a U and freaking knocked everything on my damn table over.
Yeah,
Not my drink on my lap, but
I got my drink more out of the way this time. Anyways, so we got Don and Jasmine from Baller Nothing Pythons, and he wrote in, sent us one video. He said, quick road cruise on the way to vend the San Jose Reptile Show last weekend yielded 5 Northern Pacific rattlesnakes in an hour. This one had just nabbed a big meal, which most likely an adult kangaroo rat, which I would have thought was too much for a juvenile this size. We helped wobble it off the road before he got waffled. So another interesting thing was that we found them all right around golden hour, and then nothing once it got full dark and it was a full moon. The full moon usually never produces for me. So,
hey,
congrats
cool.
on that, Don. Check out this video. Is that playing?
Yep. And that thing's like a fresh meal looking, dude. That thing's freaking nice and bro, right at the front of his tummy. He's like, oh no, you guys don't mess with me.
You notice he can't even move that section of his body.
It's like toppling. He's like,
I'll watch that one more time. If you pay attention to where that meal is, you know that spot's not even moving.
That's freaking hilarious. Good on him for getting 5 before it cut off, though, man.
That sucker about tipped over when it started the move.
It was like, oh.
Yeah. That's
I've
awesome.
had a couple nights like that, though, where it's like you'll just get, 4 or 5 snakes, whack, right back to back, and then nothing. Cuts right off. How epic of that's like a Nat Geo freaking. I mean, you put it on a magazine. That is as good as it gets as natural predation.
So anybody who's squeamish, you may not want to look at this. It's a snake eating a frog. So we'll get into that though. So anybody who doesn't like looking at that, look away. Or don't watch the live. So our buddy Devin Fraze, I believe, is how his last name is pronounced.
That's how we're pronouncing it.
Yeah, so Devin was on our herp trip to the Francis Marion this year. Awesome guy. This was his first ride in, so glad to hear from him. He said, hey, I've been loving the podcast and have been meaning to send some write-ins for a while, so I have a few for you. The first is my lifer northern ribbon snake eating my first gray tree frog of the year in southern New Hampshire. The next one is a maritime garter. There's that frog there. That's a cool picture. The next one is a maritime garter, an eastern milk, and a pair of northern water snakes I found along a pond in southern Maine. Found all 4 and saw a few others within half an hour. The last is my lifer spotted turtle I found herping at a new spot in northeastern Massachusetts. I ended up seeing 2 of them along with a couple of other turtle species and a lot of different snakes. I saw roughly 25 snakes in 3 hours. Definitely a spot I need to head back to. That's cool.
Great spot. Great pictures.
Yeah.
Great descriptions.
Yeah, that is awesome. So thank you very much. These are all fantastic. I just want to look at this again, dude. Like, come on. Dude, that is so cool.
That is, I mean, talk about a good day.
Yeah.
Look at the resemblance, though, in
right?
The snake and the water snake. I love that. That's so awesome. It's almost like a reverse.
Yeah, most
Pretty sick.
definitely. It's really neat. It's really cool finds. Milk snakes are huge on my lifer list, man. I got to get one for South Carolina to cross off my lifer list, but we'll we'll get there. And then
Once you
obviously,
assemble that dragon task force and put it to work.
so this next one, from our buddy Neeser, he's been a steady writer into
He's
Flippin Tin.
weird.
I
The
will, I
Garter
will,
God.
yes, I will preface this one. This first picture certainly isn't a very pretty sight. So if you don't, the snake is not dead, but it is in peril. And if that's not something you want to see, then either look away or don't look at the live. But I do think it's important, so we're going to show it anyways. I'll leave it on Devin's picture while I read off his description, because it is unfortunate, but it's a very real thing. And he sent this probably the day after last week's episode, so I made sure to
Yeah, it
bring
was
it in
on
this week.
Friday of last week. Yeah.
And it sounds like Phil just popped in.
I have a fan of him.
So before we get into that, we're going to go ahead and add Phil to the stage. Good
Oh,
evening, my friend.
Oh, hello, hello, hello.
he's
We are
chilling out in the Everglades right now. Thank you for joining me.
Yes, I thought it was apropos.
apropos. I love it. Well, we're just going over some write-ins real quick. We got two more.
Excellent.
Um, and I was prefacing this one's a little not so fun to look at, but a necessary thing that we should talk about. So our buddy Neeserg, he is nis.arg on Instagram. He said, meant to submit this to maybe for next time. He said, on my recent trip to the Pacific Northwest, I made a stop up to Washington and stopped by Billy Frank Jr. Nisqually National Wildlife Refuge to see if I could come across some Puget Sound garters, Thermophis sertalis pickeringi. Although I did come across my target, I came across a few individuals that looked a bit sickly, one of which was on its deathbed. Thought that the signs it was exhibiting was SFD, which is snake fungal disease, for anybody who doesn't know. So I got into contact with a biologist working at the refuge, and he sent the snake off for qPCR testing. Fortunately, it came back negative for snake fungal disease, but it did test positive for, I'm going to give my best
This is
pronunciation of
over.
this, Parananiziopsis, SPP. USGS will be determining the exact subspecies, but will let me know when they're able to ID the species. As herpers, it's not only important to treat these animals with respect, but also it's important to notify the proper biologist / DNR, etc., when you see something that is abnormal, especially in this day and age with diseases running rampant. Also, just a PSA to thoroughly disinfect your hiking boots before you enter into a new area. So again, this isn't the most fun picture to look at, but that is what that individual looked like.
Very great points, Nisarg. Thanks for bringing up all the stuff that
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
I think it's a very important thing to talk about, especially the disinfecting your boots thing,
Yes.
because this is an unfortunate sight, but it's something that needs to be talked about because it is important, and this is the type of things that can happen if you're not careful with washing off your stuff. And this very well may not have been from another herper walking around or anything. Frankly, it's not saying it's unlikely, but it's also not 100% that was what came from that. But either way, it's there, and it's very unfortunate, especially being such a not especially, but being such a beautiful snake. This is the type of stuff that can wipe out a species. If we're not careful.
100%. Honestly, and something like a water snake is so much more susceptible to spread and
Yeah, water snakes
it's
and garter snakes.
yeah, they're parasite ridden as heck, and they live in water. Water is constantly moving and traveling and spreading around. So
Yeah, and also being a high strung, high stress species doesn't help any of those factors. Um,
no,
and so there's another picture of it stretched out. I mean, that's such a beautiful animal, and it's got to be heartbreaking to come
thinking about how
across that.
in a decrepit state it is, and it's still that vibrant and beautiful. So knowing that when it's healthy, it's probably 2 or 3 times better looking. That is so crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is unfortunate, but again, I thought it was very important to bring up on this. So thank you very much, Nisar,
Oh, yeah.
for
Thank you,
writing
Michelle.
in on that.
Bloody
Um,
shame.
so last but not least, we have Mr. Nipper Reed. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, you should. We had Mr. Rob Stone on, and he talked about a recent trip that they took to the Grand Canyon in Utah, all that. And Nipper wrote in with some awesome pictures. And so, if you want a little bit more context for their trip, go back and listen to Rob's episode. But this is Nipper's write in. He goes, "Hey, mate, a few pics from the excellent NPR trip to Utah. We saw 5 species of rattlesnake: Latosis, midget faded, hoppy, Jason Keller, hoppy, Panamint, and Grand Canyon, plus Pyro, Wandering Garter, and Desert Gopher. Mad hike to the Grand Canyon from the top to bottom and back up and find an abysses." So, short ride in. If you want more information on that trip, definitely check it out. But he sent me a good few pictures, so we're just going to kind of roll through these.
While you show these screamers of snakes, we recorded the latest Venom Exchange Radio yesterday.
Oh,
And we spoke about some of the stuff that hopefully the three of us get to talk about tonight. So I did not air it until we did this. So we go into all the rattlesnakes that they encountered and then some of the adventures that the three of us did. So to make sure that people get to hear this first, Venom Exchange Radio episode 25 will be airing probably tomorrow, if not this weekend.
Very
Dude,
good.
You're melting my computer screen right now. Nipper, I'm gonna send you a bill because you
broke my screen.
Melted. What the flip, dude? These pics are off the freaking chain, bro. Holy
Dude, it sucks. Like, I don't know if it's distorting it on y'all's end, but like with my laptop screen being blown up, these pictures are so much more high quality than.
Oh my, no, dude, I don't know, it's coming up pretty
crystal
on my end, bro.
All right, good.
Holy shit.
I mean, look at that shot, is just incredible.
Money, just money.
Beautiful.
God, that thing's beautiful, man.
I'd give my left nut to find one of those, dude.
Well, why don't we just take a trip out west, brother?
That needs to happen. That's just
that is awesome. Wow, that thing is lava.
Legit.
Yeah. Legit. Nice long rattle too, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing, man. Around me, like, I see cane breaks a lot, but a lot of them don't have really, really long rattles on them. So I love seeing that real long rattle on these babies. That's awesome. Nice lizard.
Freaking little epic lizard. What? Is that some sort of That's not any sort of toad lizard, is it?
No, that's I'm 99% sure that's the female eastern collared.
Okay. Damn. Yeah. Freaking cool as hell looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I know there's a collared picture in here somewhere. At least I think there is. That's just mad.
Yeah, right. The blue.
Look at that face, bro.
The blue and the pink, dude. There's like pink and blues and tans.
It looks like 2 different snakes. Like if you were to just put a bar right in the middle over the rattle in that middle band.
Yeah.
I'm going with 2 different snakes. That's sick as hell.
It's freaking money, dude. Look at that close up. Jeez, man.
Right there at the tongue, where that tongue comes out, it's freaking purple, bro.
Yeah, dude.
That is epic.
It's blue all along the mouth here.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's freaking incredible.
Oh my God.
That looks like a quick cell phone shot. Still.
Look at that little ripper. Little freaking bright orange pits. Screamer.
That might have been.
You can make a whole calendar with all of these shots, dude.
Yeah. And that is all Nipper sent me. More than adequate. Wonderful pictures, Nipper.
That's a background picture right there. Straight wallpaper, bro.
Yeah. Those are freaking insane. So yeah, thank you everybody for writing in again. Please please keep them coming. We want to, we want to keep the groove going. So thank y'all. Please keep them up. Please keep them coming. The more, the merrier. Um, so definitely want to keep up the momentum. So, but yeah. So Phil had to step away for a second. Oh, there he is.
I'm back.
Nice. So, yes,
Nice.
as we discussed earlier, we recently got back from a absolutely killer trip um, to the Glades.
To the Everglades.
Yes,
I thought my-
the wild,
I thought-
wild west of the South.
Yeah, I thought my background was good. This is actually a photo I took, and
Oh, is it?
I can't move myself because
Is that when we were driving or no?
no, this is from a couple years ago, but that's literally what I'm looking at behind this camera. So,
Hell yeah.
No way.
yeah, well, not this photo. That was from a couple
Well,
years ago.
yeah. I know.
Yeah. So, I'll tell you, people, it is miserable in Florida in summer, and we'll get into that in a little bit, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But nothing beats a South Florida summer sunset.
Yeah, dude.
'Cause
Especially right after a storm.
Oh yeah, or like right now, my horizon is all storm clouds, and just the purples and pinks and blues coming through it looks like the screen. So
Mine's not as pretty as yours, Phil.
that's why I said South Florida. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's why I was like, nope, not a South Florida one.
Yeah. I will say it is weird starting a podcast in daylight.
Yeah,
Normally, we started around 9. So,
and just so y'all know, that lizard we were looking at, he said, Dustin commented, said, I got a little behind, but that horny toad looking lizards from Nipper was a female elegant earless lizard.
Ah, okay.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Shows how much snake guys we are.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah, man, South Florida was, I mean, everything I could have ever imagined. This was my first time down there. I've been all over. As a kid, my parents, took me to a lot of places that I don't remember. So I had to ask my mom. I was like, "Did I ever go to South Florida as a kid?" And she's like, "No, I don't think we ever went there." And I was like, "Yes." Like,
So this is your actual first time ever south of like Orlando.
Ever. Yeah.
That's wild, man.
Yeah,
I wish we had more time. I would have shown you more.
Yeah, I spent most of my time around Skies area, Tampa area, then obviously Daytona, Orlando, Ocala. So really nothing past more Central Florida.
And like you guys went to Everglades National Park proper, but did you get to see like any rivers of grass? Like any prairie of grass?
I bet you there
We
was
did on
water
Saturday
everywhere.
afternoon. On Saturday afternoon, we did.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. That's why I was like,
say,
you gotta see some of this shit in the daylight, because if not, it's
Yeah.
not gonna
Yeah.
So we saw a little bit of it Friday afternoon and then again Saturday afternoon. But that's why we were like, we need to plan another 3-day trip, and we're gonna have the itinerary laid out now that he's kind of seen everything, and we got like a better idea of like, all right, this day, that night, this next day, like we're gonna freaking slay it this next time, and we're gonna do a bunch of fun shit.
And honestly, now that I've been to Homestead and we saw iguanas, agamas, and brown basilisk, like I'm good on those. Like, yeah, I've seen those. I cross those off. Now we don't have to do that again. We can take the time that we did to do that and really hit some other areas. But yeah, next time we were talking, this is going to be like a Thursday through like all day Sunday type of thing, and then I'll stay the night at Sky Sunday and then head out Monday, so we can really include our time. But yeah, I mean, we'll kind of start from the beginning. So for me, Friday started out at about 4:00 in the morning. I was woken up by the TV.
Baltimore.
Yeah, I was woken up by Voldemort's voice from Harry Potter playing on my TV while I was asleep. That scared the shit out of me, so that was awesome. way to wake up. So I stayed in bed till about 4:30, and
Harry Potter,
dude, it was real.
Jacob Bratz.
It was real
Give
weird to
me
wake.
those toes.
Yeah, that was real weird to wake up too. But I was out the door by about 5 o'clock, and from there I went to Jacksonville to meet up with our buddy Preston Converse. He was actually supposed to be on this trip with us, but he had some stuff going on. He ended up not being able to make it. But I met up with him in Jacksonville to or give him a snake. He gave me a snake. It wasn't really a trade. I was giving him back one that he gave me, and he gave me something new. So he gave me a Ridley eye. So that is amazing. Quote the cave dwelling rat snake. Very, very excited to have that in my possession. So big shout out to Preston Converse Constrictors. Appreciate you, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Then from there, that was about a 2.5 hour drive from here to Jacksonville. There was another 2.5 hours from Jacksonville to Sky's place. I think I got to you by 11.
Like 30 or 11:20 ish.
Yeah, 11:30 ish.
Remember?
And then we hung out at Sky's for about an hour and a half. Yeah, I think we left around 1 because I was helping him feed some monitors and get things ready to go and loaded up. Loaded up the car and we headed south, baby, and that's where the adventure really began.
Well, before that, how's the pilb?
Oh, dude,
shit,
friggin' stud, dude.
The pilb, bro.
God,
I was hoping you guys have like more recent pictures to throw up.
I did not take any pictures of the pilb.
I can send you a shit ton, but I'm so mad. I almost had my first tongue feeding video of him yesterday.
Really?
He was sitting there deciphering the cricket because the cricket was on the edge of the tongue, and I had both big legs clamped, and the cricket's sitting there flipping around, and little Ricky's like, and I'm like, get it, bro, get it. You're there, get it. And he just messed around too long. The cricket broke its legs off, and then as he was about to nab it, it hopped on the log, and then he ate it off the log. So I was like, does that still count as tongue feeding? Because you were about to eat it off the tongs, and then it broke itself off, and then you ate it right after.
Yeah,
I'll
give it that's a hell of progress, bro. Hell of some progress.
Dude, I can't wait. I'm sure that
young as that thing is.
Yeah,
I can't wait. He's
dude.
I'm just scared to let him out.
Yeah, he's so tiny. I knew he was small just from the pictures you sent me, but my God.
Bro,
in person, that thing's like a freaking knoll, dude.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
When I got him, he was so much smaller than when you saw him. Like he's already grown. It's crazy.
That's insane.
Nice.
Yeah. The and by Pilb, that is the Pilbara rock monitor, correct?
Yes,
is that the common name of that?
Varanus pilbarensis.
That is Sky's newest addition. So, and that was a lot of fun though, hanging out at Sky's. Man, that was honestly so much fun. He basically laid out a bunch of quail. He's like, "I'm gonna go do this shit." He's like, "Just feed all the monitors," and I was like, "Really?" just like
3, 2, 2.
Rock out. It's like, all right,
baptism by fire.
Yeah, I was like, let's rock and roll. I had one of them. I think it was Natiri. He was running out all over the floor. I was following him around with a quail. Those things are gnarly fast, dude. Like I would try and like keep away on some of them. They would just snatch it. I'm like, damn.
Nice.
So much faster than you think. But yeah, that was actually a lot of fun. I've got to feed all of them tongue feeding, so that was cool. Yeah, then we loaded up the Kia and hit the road, man. And we had a few stops to make on the way there, so it took us about 4.5 hours to get down there, didn't it, Sky?
Yeah, it was like 4.5. Yep, because we left at right around 1, and we got there around like 5:30.
Yeah. So it at this point I had been in the car a solid like 10 hours. Like it was a lot of time in a vehicle. I haven't been in a car for 10 hours in a minute. But this just took over and ran. So that was fun. So Sky, why don't you Why don't you tell us how we started off that trip at the
Yeah,
motel?
after 4.5 hours of headbanging and storytelling and stuff,
Yeah,
we
that was awesome.
we get into the Everglades City. We're riding on hype. I mean, as we get into the Everglades, I'm like, bro, we're here. We're blasting music. We're pumped up.
We're going nuts,
Like,
dude. We were so stoked.
oh yeah. We pull into the place. I'm sweet talking the front desk saying, oh yeah, we're here for the weekend. Nah, we ain't two dudes sharing a bed. Yeah, you trying to stop by the room later? Sick. And then we pull up to the hotel room, literally open the door. Me being smart as hell, I put down my keys, my wallet, the room key, everything. We walk back out to grab another load. I shut the door. We go to open the door with a handful of stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, sick. So these things lock and you need a key to get back in them. So
it's not like you've stayed in a hotel before.
Yeah,
or anything.
that's exactly what I said. I was like, bro, you've stayed in hotels before. And he's like, because I remember him going, oh, I don't want to let the AC out. And he just shuts the door because we had it cracked while we were going in there. He's like, oh, I don't want to let the AC out. Slams the door. I'm not thinking anything of it, assuming he has his keys in his pocket. Dude left his car keys, wallet, freaking hotel keys, or motel keys, everything.
Yeah, and it wasn't like the front desk was like in the same parking lot. It's
three blocks away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
So me and Jake did a little beat bopping around Everglades City. And yeah, we had to go back. I had to openly admit that I was a total dumbass and just locked everything into the hotel room. And they cracked up and were like, don't worry, it happens, especially to idiots like you.
Nice.
So yeah, we went back, got in, finished unloading.
By this time, we're already dripping in sweat.
Oh god, yeah, completely drenched.
Gnarly, dude.
What time of day is this again?
This was about 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Peak.
Yeah.
So we get back and it's like, I think it was like right after 6 when we finally got back in and got everything unloaded. And then I was like, all right, dude, 7 o'clock. Let's go hit the roads. It was actually a rainstorm was rolling in right at 6, and the weather said it was going to clear up right before 7. So we were like, all right, let's chill for a minute. We'll like eat some snacks, lay around for a second, and then at 7 o'clock we'll hit the road. And sure as shit, rain stopped at 7, and the adventures began for old fucking longleaf reptilian over here. We got the 41 loop road experience in the bag for the boy. We laugh.
I do have some pictures pulled up from that.
Yeah, we gotta give him the
Mike Kosicki wants to know what's crawling above Jake's left shoulder or right shoulder.
I was just looking at that. It caught my eye.
That is Forrest, my Papuan carpet python.
I knew it was Papuan.
He's just beat bopping around his enclosure. It's nighttime, so they're getting a little wiry. So I guess we can go ahead and jump into some pictures.
Yeah, might as well.
Well, let's start with you want to start with the owl or the picture we took on Loop Road?
No, let's start everything. There's no point. See the owl. Then okay. I don't know if you have that first figure.
Well, we gotta start with the first picture we took at Loop Road, dude. That was
yeah.
That was awesome.
So if anyone
this is the picture of the century.
Nice. If anyone doesn't know the lure of Loop Road, it's in the middle of the Everglades. There's no service out there. It is literally just a lime rock levee road, swamp on each side. There's a couple floating houses at the very deep parts of the road. There's nothing but stories of people, robbing you, chasing you off the roads, weird shit, paranormal shit, weird, just anything weird you could think of, So I have a couple personal stories with some buddies prior to this. I've talked about it. I'm sure at this point it seems like a freaking fake story. So at this point, Jake's thinking it's fake. We get
so I'll say this. My thing about Loop Road is like you're the only one that gave me specifics. And some of the roads, like the stuff that I had heard, I thought it was all like people were paranoid about like paranormal shit, like ghosty type of thing.
Oh,
going
it's
on.
ghosty, bro. Especially
Yeah,
like
but
if
see,
you're by
like,
yourself.
yeah, I'm sure if you're by yourself, but like that kind of shit really doesn't rattle me. Like, because I like that kind of stuff doesn't really bother me. I will say the animals just acted fucking weird out there.
Bro, the animal shit is cue enough to you that place has some weird shit going on.
So
Like,
we'll give you a preference. This was before Loop Road. This is during. Awesome pictures. And this was after.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
We did not have a good time. We found some
the
stuff, which
first
was
half was great, but the
yeah.
first half was great.
Soon
But
as
that's
soon as the lights went out, man, it was
Well, I think you guys actually, in my opinion, got lucky because almost every time I've been to Loop Road the past, I mean, I don't go anymore because of everything we just talked about, but and some of the things we're going to talk about, but the past 4 or 5 times I've been there was more cars than snakes. And
really.
yeah, and it's not even like paranormal or dangerous. It's just like dudes who decide to go fishing that night, and like their busted up old SUV happens to take up 2/3 of the dirt road, so that you're wondering if your wheels are going to go off the side. Meanwhile, they're standing there with their cast net, and a cane pole, looking at you like, "What? I didn't do anything."
I would have much rathered that, to be honest.
Yeah.
the thing is, if we weren't in a compact vehicle, our night and our story probably would have been and could have been a completely different ending.
Yeah, very much so.
Yes. So first animal we saw there was this owl. So Sky, would you say this owl was maybe 7 feet up this tree?
He was, if we were standing outside of my car, he would have been eye level with this.
Yeah, so only about 6 feet up this tree. So this I don't know why this
the tree was like right off the canal, and it was like the levee. So I mean, yeah.
This is a cell phone picture taken from the car.
Yeah.
So
right
like that tells you how close it was. So this owl was like looking straight ahead until we pulled up. We pulled up, stopped. We're like, oh, cool. This thing just like turns, is like, you looks directly at us and just like looks into the heart, the bottom of your freaking soul.
Your head, just straight jet black eyes, just
stared at us. Stared at us.
Have fun on Loop.
Yeah, it was
now,
like,
what's funny is I didn't tell you guys this while we were out there because I didn't want to give you a complex, but and someone's going to correct me because I'm sure I'm butchering the story, but it's to my knowledge that I don't know if it's Miccosukee Native Americans or Seminole Tribe Native Americans, one or both of them believe that owls are ancestors who are not happy.
Oh,
and they're like bad luck.
Oh,
and like to have an owl in your presence.
Well, I was telling them about the Indian voodoo and shit all in that area.
Yeah.
And just Native Americans have magic and spells, and they believe in all the naturalistic or paranormal and.
Oh yeah.
I think once we keep going, and like we said, the animals are all acting weird, but me and Jake had one experience with an animal throughout this road where we literally couldn't. we questioned each other on what we both just saw to figure out to make sure we were just seeing the same thing.
Unfortunately, we don't have a picture or video of that, but we'll definitely get to it. But yeah, Phil, after you saying that, I totally believe that about this owl, because this thing looked into our souls and didn't move a muscle. Like
until
just
we stared us down.
So I just looked it up, and this is just a quick Google search real quick. It says the Everglades and its inhabitants have used lore and myth to explain a number of natural occurrences as well as unexplained phenomena, from owl witches to long ears, blah, 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 blah. Also known as Stigini, also known as owl witches, are one of the more sinister monsters from Seminole folklore. Originally, these beings were evil witches that were able to transform themselves into owl-like beings. During the day, the Stingini would resemble the Seminole people, but at night, they would release their soul and prey upon the tribe as a 9-foot-tall undead owl.
Jesus.
So, yeah. Keep going.
You just gave me goosebumps, bro.
Go on, I insist.
So, yeah, this was our first encounter on Loop Road, and I had to go back to that one because I had these horribly. So yeah, this was before, after, during, and after Loop Road. So this was one of the first snakes we saw out there. Of
Yeah,
course,
we
the
saw it
cottonmouth.
right at like it was like probably 50 yards after that owl. We got that
Yeah.
giant jet black adult cottonmouth. That was right on the
Well,
shoulder.
we got the jet black Nerodia.
No, we got a jet black cottonmouth right after that.
Did we?
Remember? You basically went to go chase it off the road a little bit, and I was
Uh,
like, that's exactly how we're going to see a python coming out of the road.
I don't have. Oh, let me.
So, and forgive me, but this is before you guys went to Flamingo or after?
This is
This is
before. This
all
was the
okay.
first place we
It's
went.
all
Okay.
on the way.
Okay.
So I really don't have many pictures from Loop Road because we didn't find that much stuff, and I don't know. I know we found a really dark Nerodia, another cottonmouth, but I don't know what happened to those pictures. I don't know where they are.
I'll send them to you quick.
So, but yeah. So it's mostly going to be stories from Loop Road or a story more than anything. Yeah, that was a pretty cottonmouth.
That's a great looking cottonmouth.
Oh yeah, we've had dude in South Florida's got some beautiful cottonmouths, dude.
Yeah, we really do. The problem is that they darken out over the years. I imagine it's a combination of camouflage in just the black water, the murky water, as well as just we have so much UV exposure down here.
Yeah,
It's like perpetually 9.0. So,
jeez.
Yeah, dude. Do you remember that cottonmouth now?
I don't remember a jet black cottonmouth. I remember the jet black Nerodia.
I just sent you the pictures, fool.
Fool.
See the one
I
on
get-
side of the trail? That is literally in my pictures. That's 3 minutes after the owl
I
pictures.
did not get them yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
they're loading.
There they are. Oh, that one.
yeah, you remember you like went to go touch its tail as it was going off the
I
trail?
did not touch any tail. That did not happen. Hold on.
It's funny because it was Sky who went to touch the tail.
Totally, yes, but this time it was actually Bronze.
I
Okay.
didn't touch anything. I was just getting close to it. All
He
right.
did it. He just got closer to scare.
Just got to boop that snoot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, boop the snoots.
Let me deal with this real quick. Get these pictures up on here because
Sure. Still.
Don't give too much away.
no
People are zooming in as we speak. There you
No.
go.
I'm gonna take that off. Let me deal with this real quick.
So, can I just get? I won't go deep into the story, but can I just continue to give preface?
Yeah. No. Go ahead. I'm dealing with this. You do your thing.
So, Jake's never been to Loop Road. I've had personal experiences. Obviously, Phil has. Phil's not with us at this point, but we're texting him. He's going, "Good luck, boys. Get the fuck off of Loop Road, but have fun. I wouldn't be there. Whatever." And I'm like, Jake's like, we get on the road as the sun's coming down, so we're hitting it at magic hour. Jake's seeing the first part of the road. It's Everglades, clear water on each side. We're enjoying the view. We're looking at all the air plants. Jake's literally saying, I really don't get what the bad part about this road is. I mean, like, it's kind of weird, but like, these are the kind of roads I hit in South Carolina, bro. Like, this is my spot. Like, I would be out here all the time if I lived down here. And I'm just like, all right, bro. Like,
I will say I was talking some shit. I was like, yeah, because again, I was under the assumption that everybody was just being a baby, thinking like there's like some supernatural shit going on here. And
part of me is like, I'm like, all right, like I already half-ass know at least something weird shit's gonna happen. But at this point, I'm almost like, all right, whatever. Like, hey, what happens, brother. I'm hoping you get a taste of your own medicine.
I think it's funny how whenever Sky does Jake's voice, he makes him sound like a muscly Venice Beach surfer. which is not what Jake sounds like, but I think it's great.
Yeah, that's pretty much yeah.
But as the sun goes down, I'm like, you don't understand. I'm like, once it's dark out here, I'm like, there's only one way in and like one way out. And if you got to turn around, you're hitting a 3 to 5 point turn on a fucking canal where, you go a little too far forward, a little too far back, you're falling in. And he's like, yeah, I get it, whatever. Well, the lights finally go out. And do you want me to continue about at least passing the first vehicle? Because we didn't really see nothing until
Well,
then.
I got the pictures sorted out, so let me show this cottonmouth really quick.
Yeah. So this, are you showing the dark one?
Yes.
So this was literally 3 minutes after that owl in my camera roll.
It's hard to see.
It's hard to make out its head, but its head
It was
is,
really dark. Can you see my cursor?
Yeah, but it just looks like a black squiggle on our end.
It was very dark.
Yeah.
Super dark. I mean, jet black. But its face was a little bit cocked back, looking straight at the road. Yeah, you can see it a little bit better there.
Yeah, you can see his chin now.
Yeah.
So that was the dark cottonmouth, and then we also found a really dark Nerodia.
Yeah, that was a nice one.
Yeah. Oh, that's the cane toad. Where's the other? Anyways. So that was really all the animals we saw, other than I fumbled the bag big time on what I believe to be a glossy crayfish snake. So the story behind that, I am very against grabbing snakes before you can identify them. And we saw this small snake on the side of the road, and it immediately, as soon as we stopped, it immediately dove into the bushes. I thought it was gone. And so I run over there and I see this snake, and I didn't think long enough to identify it. So I just kind of grabbed it by the tip of the tail and tried to whip it into the road. And it got away from me. I still couldn't tell what it was. And looking back, I'm like, okay, that thing was not venomous. Like I know the venomous snakes here. It definitely wasn't any of those. I don't know why I just fumbled the bag so hard on that. So y'all can blame me. We're pretty sure it was a glossy crayfish, based on the color I did see. It was kind of a tannish looking,
and how it was initially moving onto the road, and then it hit that U-turn. Like the way it was, the locomotion of it looked a lot like
Was it very fish out of water?
Yes.
That it was just very quick and
very quick, small.
The movements weren't so floppy, cottonmouthy.
And it was cool. It was cool because we actually saw it hit the water, and then I watched it swim under the water, like into
nice.
It was actually really cool to see.
It goes, oh, it's in the water. There it goes.
Yep.
Gone forever.
Gone forever. I said, well, I just messed that one up big time, but you know, what can you do? Whoa, shit. Oh my God. My dog just ran in here and scared the piss out of me.
Dude, the loop road's coming to get you, buddy.
It's the owl witches.
No shit. Oh my God. Yeah. So after
before we get to the cars, though, let's tell the story about the frog.
Okay. Yes. Because I guess the frog did happen right before we saw that first truck.
Yeah.
So it was like right after Jake fumbled this, what we think is a glossy. There's obviously frogs and shit jumping across the road in 2 or 3 strides, sometimes 1 stride if it's a big enough bullfrog. And we're just cruising along, headlights on bright. All of a sudden, this bullfrog lands 1 leap into the road, and as it's doing its next leap, which would be directly in front of the car, basically in the middle, it does a huge leap, and as it's at the peak of the leap, it does a fucking sideways front flip, lands again, goes to jump up, looks like it hits a force field, does another sideways half flip, lands, and then jumps off the road. And me and Jake
I saw it a little differently, okay? Like, unless I misunderstood what you meant. So the way I saw it, this frog jumped and did like 2 front flips. Like I thought it had gotten like clipped or something by a car because it was like sporadic. So it jumps, does like a weird flip, stops, jumps, does another weird flip, stops. Then this thing jumps, and it's like Sky said, it looks like it hit like a wall, like a force field. It jumps, does a flip, and as soon as it does a flip, it goes the opposite way in the air. Like in midair, this thing takes a sharp left turn.
As if it bounced off of something.
Yes, like we both watched this happen, and we both kind of paused, and we were like, and I looked at first. I was like, you saw that too, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, did that thing just change direction like mid-flight? You're like, yeah. Okay, just making sure we're.
I put some thought to this, and the only thing that I can deduct is
it's loop road, man.
There is, besides that, there is an optical illusion that a lot of road cruisers like us may see, and I've seen it a few times where the this is like some UFO weather balloon fog hitting Venus, whatever kind of theory. But basically, depending on how the frog is jumping across the road in front of your headlights, if you have fog lights or you have your high beams and your regular beams or your high beams and your running lights or whatever they are, there's almost two shadows. And at one point, the frog supersedes one of the shadows more than the other, if that makes sense. And it gets to the point where you see the frog land, but you didn't see the frog land. You saw the shadow land, and your eyes go to the shadow thinking it's the frog. Meanwhile, the frog's already in the grass. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Kinda,
It's
but
like
that
a split second optical illusion because of the headlights of the car.
But
Yeah,
we were out of the car, weren't we?
no, we were in the car.
We were in the car.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were driving. We were just cruising.
It was just
It was.
I see what you're saying, but it was the way because it was jumping down the road. Like it was straight in front of us, jumping in front.
Oh, away from you.
Yes, away from us.
Oh, it wasn't
down
crossing.
the road. Yeah, no, it wasn't crossing.
Oh, okay.
Jumping down the road, then it jumped and then like hit a hard wall like mid-air. So that's
Force
why
field.
we saw it going straight and then cut to the right or left, whatever it was.
Okay.
I don't know. I like blacked out when I saw it. I was like, I don't know what that
tried
was.
to hop 3 or 4 times and couldn't get in the direction it was fucking.
So what you're telling all of us is, and again, I wasn't there for this, that at that point in time, as the frog was jumping mid-leap, time stood still. You were abducted by aliens, and then you were put back onto this Terran planet, and they pressed play as the frog had changed position. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just so we're on the
It's
same
the,
page.
it's the only thing that makes any sense. to
Yeah.
be
We
honest.
got probed mid frog leap. Yes.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. So that was the weird part.
Is there like a little barcode in the back of your neck, or do you have like a little point of like where a syringe was behind your ear? Anything?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
I do have a weird mole that's always been there behind my ear, but that's. Oh
Well-
wait, is it gone? No, it's still there.
Yeah,
Okay.
run the micro run your microphone next to it and see if it gives feedback. Oh man.
Yeah. After that, things were just kind of quiet. The lights went out, got dark, and we passed 3 cars driving, and we passed 2 cars sitting. We'll get to the cars sitting in a minute. And Sky, do you want me to tell this from my perspective, or do you want to hit it?
It don't matter to me. We can both go. Fuck.
Yeah. So we passed the first truck. Now, mind you, this is a big Chevy. This thing is taking up the entirety of the road. So we're trying to creep past him, and as we go past him, this dude just
on the narrow bridge part. This is on one of the parts where it comes to a little narrow bridge. The freaking Lime Rock Road gets a little bit skinnier, and there's a piping. So we're even at an even narrower spot of the narrow road.
Yeah, you're going from dirt road that bottlenecks to a 1-lane concrete bridge.
Yes, and this is a big lifted truck, tires, whole 9 yards. So we're trying to get past this thing, and as soon as we go past him, he just stops in his tracks. And as he's going back, I thought he put it in reverse or something because a light bar came on the back of his truck, and we're like, what the hell? And so he just sat there with that light bar on while we went past him. I thought I saw him get out. He may have been a fisherman or something. I don't know. So we passed him. He didn't do nothing. So we pass a second SUV. They got over, acted like a normal person.
And we were like, that's how it needs to go down.
Yeah, that's how you pass somebody on a tight dirt road.
So we could both scoot by and no one has to slow down. That's how it should go down.
So then we passed the last truck. That this time it's dark. It's like dark. I don't know what kind of truck this was. So we passed this truck, and this truck doesn't
Chevy, dark blue Chevy.
Yeah. So this truck doesn't come to a complete stop when we went by it, but it creaked.
And then creeped by as we passed.
Yeah.
Didn't scoot over either. It was also straight in the middle of the fucking road.
So
Thank God we had a compact vehicle.
So we got out of sight from that one for 30 seconds to a minute. All of a sudden, we look back now. If you've been on Loop Road's long and straight on certain parts. You hit a couple curves, but it's long. So we look back and we see headlights like way back. And we're like, what the fuck? There hasn't been anybody behind us this entire time. Like, what's somebody doing back there now? But they're way back there. And we're like, no worries. Like dirt road, like they're way back there, not too worried about it. So they're so far back, their headlights look like one headlight, just like a blur. In all of 30 seconds, that gap was closed. And they are on our tails. And all I hear is Sky go, nope. And he puts it down, like not playing with that. So we put it down. We're on this little back road doing 45, 50 miles an hour down this road. Okay. Just cooking.
Meanwhile, this is a lime rock levee that is just wider than your vehicle, and there's fucking potholes everywhere, and we're in a fucking Kia Soul.
Yes.
For context.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're hauling ass down this road. Like I said, we're going way too fast for this type of road. And this dude is on our tails the entire freaking way.
At one point, he tried to get over and overtake us. And as soon as I seen his headlights both peek over into my side mirror, I was like, psych, buddy, no. And at that point, we were at a race and a block game for fucking the last 2 to 3 miles of the fucking dirt road.
Yeah. So Sky's just riding in the middle of this road, not letting this dude by 50 miles an hour. So we're just flying down this road. This dude is steady on our butts, dude. No reason for anybody to be going this fast down this road. So we hit a curb, and on this curb, it got a little wider, and there's 2 cars parked on the side of the road and a fire just blazing on the side of this road. I mean, it wasn't just like kind of a fire. It was a fire.
Fucking ritual fire, brother.
There's like...
people didn't even look at us. There's just 2 people that are standing, just looking down at the fire, just straight.
Oh, I thought there was like 5, 6 of them out there.
I'll be honest. I looked so briefly because I didn't want to fucking look away and crash.
Yeah,
and I thought
there was like
when we first saw the cars.
Yeah, there was like 4 or 5 people out there, like, and massive fires. So we fly right past them.
Mind you, once again, this is cars parked diagonally on a fucking levee in the middle of nothing, having a fucking bonfire in the middle of the levee. What the fuck they're doing? Good fucking question.
So the truck behind us is not flashing his high beams. He's not honking his horn. He's not acting like something's wrong. He's just following us. So he flies right by these people too. Again, that's why it's weird. Like if something was wrong, he would have stopped and talked to them to get help. And he wasn't signaling to us that anything was wrong. No, nothing. He's just
he didn't flash his high beams or anything.
No high beams, no horn, no nothing. We didn't have music. We didn't have music playing, so we would have heard a horn if he was honking or something, Because that was my concern. Like maybe something's wrong or he's in a rush. But we'll tell you why. We know why nothing was wrong. He wasn't trying to get our attention. I'll tell you why I know he wasn't in a rush to get out of there. So we hit, he's following us for 2-3 miles. It felt like an eternity. It was
we were at the tail end of the dirt part of the road.
Yeah.
So
like this took all of 5 minutes or so. It felt like a freaking eternity. So we get down. So if you know Loop Road, the last 2 miles of it is blacktop. Would you say?
Yeah, last few miles, yeah.
So Sky's like, dude, we just gotta get to the blacktop and we're home free. And I'm like, okay. He's like, we're almost there. So we see it. We see blacktop ahead. I hear Sky just kind of sigh, like, all right, we're there. We're good.
And for the record,
we're fucking smashing it at this point.
Yeah. Loop Road is exactly 43 miles long.
Holy shit.
So it's 43 miles from Okapi to South Miami.
Yeah, we were probably in the last 6 to 7 miles when all this happened, I would say.
Wow, I did not think it was that long.
Yep.
So this dude had been following us for miles. And so we get off the blacktop or we get off the Lime Rock Road and we hit blacktop. And as soon as we hit blacktop,
this guy's still on our ass.
Yeah,
he's still on our ass
the entire way. But as soon as we hit blacktop, and so does he, this dude stopped in his tracks. Like,
Just
didn't keep
watch.
following us, didn't turn around, no nothing. This dude stopped right at the edge of the blacktop, and he sat there and watched us till his headlights faded into nothing. Those headlights didn't turn, they didn't know nothing. He just sat there and watched us until his lights faded into nothing and we were gone. And never saw him again. And that's why I know he wasn't just in a rush to get out. Like, he wasn't going that fast because he had a family emergency, had to get home. Like, this dude was just following us. Like,
so I have to correct myself. The Loop Road Trail, the hiking trail, is 43 miles. The actual dirt that you were driving on is 24 miles.
okay,
So
that makes a little bit more sense.
forgive me.
Yeah.
24 miles. Still
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so we were freaking out, dude. Like, it was, I know it sounds
like the sixth time for me to get chased off that road. So, like, all of my previous stories telling Jake were basically like this, and then now we have one together. And as soon as we got off, I was like, "So now, what do you think of Loop Road?" And he was just like, "Fuck, never again."
I'm never going back. I never want to do it again. And I got my Loop Road story, found some snakes on Loop Road, and I'm good.
Yeah, that's it.
No desire to ever go back. So that was fun. So yeah, it was just weird, like how it all went down. Like, we honestly, like, we have no idea what this guy wanted to do. Whether he wanted to run us off the road, he wanted to kidnap us, he wanted to take Sky specifically. More than likely, that would have been the case. He would have looked at us both and been like, come here, you with the pretty mouth."
You pretty boy. The thing is,
I told the guys, I was like, man, it was probably Dr. Loafman with a car full of grad students, and they were just trying to meet up with you.
No, absolutely not.
This story may not sound very scary or freaky after we tell it, but the moral is like, okay, I've been there. I knew what to expect. If you are someone that's never been there, or if we were even in my truck, say we were in my truck, all three of those encounters with those other vehicles would have been different stories. One, that first truck, he wouldn't have even let us pass. We would have had to have encountered him at some point because he did get out of his truck. So he would have either came up to my window and we would have had to have talked to him to get around him, whatever that would have been. And then obviously the second vehicle, they let us around. So hopefully they would have let us around again in my truck being bigger. But that third vehicle with those weird intentions, we would not have been able to get around him on the levee. So we would have been stuck in a contact, whatever this guy wanted to do, he was going to be able to, go out with his intentions, whether they went full proceeded all the way through and we were able to, protect ourselves or whatever the fuck the scenario would have been. We got lucky that we were in a smaller car to go around him. But two, if I wouldn't have been proactive about driving faster and not letting this guy get around us, he could have got around us and hit the brakes and pulled a roadblock on us. Or if you were nonchalant or someone that was like, oh, this could be someone needing help, and you would have stopped for the person, who knows what the fuck happens to you. But we were like proactive, get the fuck away. You've never seen my vehicle before. I've never seen your vehicle before. You don't need to contact me on the
you don't know me
service and there's no one around. Like, you just got to throw in some of the context for it to realize that you could easily go missing and no one's going to know about what the hell happened until it's too late.
I almost would have felt better about it if he would have kept going at the blacktop and went around us.
That's what we both said. We were like, it would have been better if he would have followed us all the way back to 41 and then either followed us there or turned the other way. Because it's like, okay, he might have followed us.
Trying to get the fuck out as fast as we were.
Just trying to get the fuck out of that area. But instead, it was like, oh, you boys made it to the blacktop, you lucky son of a bitches. And it's at that point, you're just like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it was like that was when all the hair stood up on my neck, is when he stopped and didn't keep going. Like, it was just like one of those things. Like, that dude had ill intentions, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I think if he would have gotten around us, he would have either ran us off the road when he got beside us, or he would have gotten in front of us and slammed on brakes and made us stop.
That's 100% what I think.
Like,
I mean, there's no reason you try to overtake somebody going 50 miles an hour on a fucking Lime Rock levee.
Right. And I also think we were lucky we were in your car because your car's front wheel drive. A rear wheel drive truck would not have done as well going that fast down a road like that.
Oh, dude, we were straight rally
Much,
mode, bro. I
much,
mean,
yeah, much easier to
dodging as
lose
many
control.
potholes as we can. Fucking
Like
go as fast
it would have
as-
been much easier to lose control in a truck that was rear wheel drive.
Left full, brake two,
Yeah.
right,
Oh,
right, 2.4, left full, brake full.
I'm all Jake. Assume rally co-pilot position. Start calling corners, brother. I need fucking
Dude.
corners.
Oh my gosh! And
Or if it's a
luckily,
street
luckily
call
we
them
didn't.
out.
Luckily, we didn't see any snakes while we were doing this because I was like, "So what do we do?"
that
I
was
was like, "What if we
like
do if we see a snake?" And Sky's like, "Well, we're not stopping." I was like, "Well, yeah." But
Yeah, the two of them just murdered 6% of the Clark Eye in Monroe County.
yeah, no, we
Oh,
actually
God.
we didn't see anything on that while we were hauling ass out of there.
Yeah.
I told you
Wheel drive.
the last 3 times I've been there, I've only found one snake, and it was that one Clark Eye with Casey Cannon. That's it. And it was on where the dirt meets the pavement. It wasn't even on the real loop. So
Oh wow.
Hell yeah.
yeah.
No, dude, we found.
But you did it.
I think we found 2 or 3 cottonmouths, a Nerodia, that one that got away, and the owl and frogs.
Yeah.
That was
Still
about
good.
the extent.
Still good.
I honestly, so it's funny, like whenever people talked about Loop Road, like I had this envision in my head, like, you know how when somebody tells you a story and you paint the picture in your head.
Yeah.
That is not what I pictured Loop Road as. Like I pictured Loop Road as a long dirt road with no trees, just Everglades on both sides, like no trees, no nothing, open road kind of thing.
Because you're really not in the Everglades. You're in Big Cypress National Preserve.
Right.
So it's all cypress swamp. As far as the eye can see, which is like 20 yards.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can't see very far through that shit.
Yeah, but I will say this: if anybody wants to go to Loop Road, it is absolutely beautiful, especially at dawn or dusk. And I got some crazy photos of stars at twilight and just the cypress trees with the knots coming out of the water. It's absolutely beautiful. So if you're ever in the Miami area,
loved it.
Yeah, if you're ever in the Miami area, I'd say go there for twilight, but you don't got to do the whole stretch. You know.
Yeah, don't stay after
the lights are on. Go there when the lights are on, and it's like Phil's saying, go there, catch a sunrise or a sunset, because it is some of the most beautiful landscape.
It was
ever.
gorgeous.
The water's crystal clear. I mean, you would think the water being out there with all the trees and everything, you'd be like brown swamp tea water. It is clear to the bottom. You can see 5 feet deep into that stuff. There's nothing else like it. It's a giant filter of just beautiful natural landscape. I mean,
look how beautiful that is.
That was before things got shitty, and that was because the lights were still on, and we were having a great time right there.
Yeah, I was having a great time. I was like, man,
that was at the peak of Jake talking shit right there.
I was like, man, everybody's a puss. Like, this is nothing.
He literally was like, everyone that's been on here talking shit is a bitch. Look at me, I'm a Loop Road god. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll take a picture of you, you egotistical asshole.
Shut up. You're like, dude, I'm gonna take a picture of you. You're like, get out, let's take a picture together. Mister, set your phone up on the car and time a picture, looking like a fucking nerd.
Cry about it.
What even is that face?
I don't know. What are you wearing? White shoes and white socks to match your white skin?
I was wearing gray shoes and black socks. Thank you very much, dickhead. But yeah, so after this was before, during, and after, we were not.
That's what you look like a rally race, a rally run.
Yeah, fearing for our lives. So yeah, cottonmouth, black,
I think it was black
cottonmouth, nice and dark Nerodia, and then I caught a cane toad. This was off a Loop Road, like that was an hour away.
Yeah, that was way down in Homestead.
Yeah, that was cool. It was funny because we saw one cane toad, and I was like, "What is that?" He's like, "It's a cane toad." I was like, "Shit, I forgot cane toads are here." I was like, "I want to catch one." He's like, "Wait till we see a big one." And like 5 seconds later, he goes, "There's one," and I chase
fucking
this
rip.
thing.
I'm all the thing like jumps off the corner of the road. I'm all cane toad, rip a you. He's like, what? I'm like, get out right there. He was chasing this thing in the road. It looked like he was chasing a little dog the way it was running and hopping. And Jake's just like, I can't get it. I can't get it.
Well, I was trying to get my phone out to take a video of it, and like it just kept like hopping away from me. And yeah,
And that's a medium sized one. That's
no, that's not even a big.
Yeah.
That's what I told him. I was like, that's a dinker compared to how big they get, bro.
Yeah,
But he was a clean little individual.
yeah, they're so pretty,
lost
man.
so
It sucks they're such pieces of shit, but
Yeah.
like, they're
definitely,
so
yes.
pretty, man. They're impressive toads. And then that takes us to Everglades National. Sky, I'll let you kind of take over from here.
Yeah, so we Jake, we wanted to the main goal was to get down there and hopefully see some crocs and the sawfish down there. Obviously ENP's got a bunch of weird rules and restrictions and loopholes to abide by, especially if you're a late night herper. We didn't get into ENP until I think it was like 11 or 11:30 at night. So later at night, no one else was there, or there was actually three other cars that we were watching zigzag around while we were out there. But we kind of just made our way slow, enjoying the ride.
I took this picture at 10:53 p.m. on Friday.
Oh, it was 10:53. Okay, so we got in like right at 11 then. Perfect. Yeah. So we got in there at 11, cruised through. We were taking our time, just enjoying it, hoping to see some snakes. We saw actually, this is where we started to see just one after another water moccasins. And I've seen some, even Phil said it the next night when he got there. He's like, let's go hit moccasin hour. And usually that's how it is. You'll see like the first hour or two of the night, you'll have a huge wave of moccasins. When I say we saw water moccasins from the beginning of the night, the first snake we saw was a water moccasin till 3:30 in the morning, seeing another water moccasin. That is the most DOR and live moccasins I've ever seen in one night. But I think the first night we got up to like, I think it was like 15 live ones that we helped chauffeur off the road, or either straddled with the car or drove by as they were going off of the road, not to count the millions of freaking DOR ones we also passed. Yeah. But
so I guess neither of us really. So for reference, an ENP, you can't even like have flashlights out there. So taking pictures was hard. I only got like one good picture of Sky with a cottonmouth, and we saw so freaking many, we just stopped taking pictures of them. So I only have one cottonmouth from ENP that we got a picture of with Sky, which was that one. That's really the only picture I took from there, because that's pretty much all we saw was cottonmouths.
Yeah. I think no, we saw two other snakes. We saw Jake, one of Jake's main targets, obviously being the rat snake man he is. We wanted to get him an Everglades rat snake, or we freaking started going a little bit fast because we were hitting a little dry point of the road, and we saw a car in the background, so we were trying to put a little distance. And true as the stroke of gold goes, you freaking start speeding up, a snake comes out in the road. So as we were getting a little bit faster, there's a snake curled up, or not curled up, but kind of scrunched up on the move towards the middle yellow lines. And it's clear as day. You can see it in the headlights. Freaking beautiful yellow rat snake. I rip the brakes as fast as I see this thing. Me and Jake get out, and by the time we get out of the car and run to the backside of the car with just our phone lights on, there's absolutely nothing in the road. We look on both sides of the road really quick, trying to be quick and obviously not trying to be spotlighting. We have our phone lights out, so we don't actually have a beam, and nothing to be seen. Yellow rat snake gone. I feel like a total butthead, because I'm like, dude, that's one of Jake's main targets. And of course it happens when I decide to speed up. So we're like, damn it, get back in the car. We're at this point, we're getting close to the end of the down to Flamingo. We only got a couple miles left, and we see this little bright orange worm in the shoulder of the road. And when we're down there in that area and you see something that kind of size and bright orange, and it was already on our mind, I'm thinking Clark Eye. Oh my God, it's a little one. It's also Jake's target. So I see that bright orange in the headlight. I'm all, Clark Eye, rip the brakes. We hop out again. Jake's out.
I was
before
out
we
of the car before it even stopped moving.
Oh yeah, before I even open the door, Jake's at the snake, and I get out and I hear he goes, decays. I'm all, what? I get over there and there's just this pale little peach colored decays. It's a very, decent sized one. And we both just looked at it, looked at each other, and went, no shit. Okay, that was the last thing I was expecting to see.
Did you guys get a picture of it or no?
Dude, we didn't even take a picture of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we were so disappointed it wasn't a Clark eye. We're just like, all right, fuck it.
You sure it wasn't a pinewood snake?
I'm positive.
No, it was 100% a decay.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was a decays. I've seen both here. Pinewoods have that little like house snake style of a head.
Yes,
and
the house snake head.
Yeah, so this was not that. It had the classic decays like patterning on the back. It was
okay.
and it also wasn't as orange as a pinewood snake. Like this thing was orange, but it wasn't that.
It was more pale. Yeah, it was like a palish.
Okay.
Peach.
And we also found a ribbon snake out there. We can't forget about the old ribbon.
And the old ribbon.
Because we thought that one was a yellow rat too, little baby, because we could see the color and kind of a stripe. We're like, yellow. We jump out and it's a freaking ribbon snake.
Yeah.
And no, I did not take a picture of that either because I find billions of ribbon snakes every time I go road cruising. So I did not take a picture of that, unfortunately.
But yeah, we got those two little snakes, unfortunately, hoping for some other stuff. And then, we were still stoked on it because we were seeing stuff with water moccasins. And we finally make our way down to the bottom of Flamingo, where the boat ramps are, where the crocs core and everything. And sure as freaking our stroke of luck goes, there's just a creepy ass van sitting down there with its headlights on, parked right at the damn boat ramp. Just a nice little white creeper van. And me and Jake kind of pulled up. It was, I don't know, probably, what would you say, 30, 40 yards away from us where we parked.
Yeah, from where we parked, it was a solid like 50 yards from where we were. And we were like right in front of the boat ramp, but its lights were pointed directly at like the boat ramp / the little dock they had over there. And by this time, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's like 1:30, 1 something in the morning. And we're literally the only ones out there. There was another car that was close to us, but they must have busted a Yui at some point because they were also out there looking for snakes. And me and Jake sat there at the boat ramp for close to 10 minutes in the car. We were just sitting there kind of like, all right, we made it all the way down here. We're either going to get out and bust out our flashlights. This is either going to be, security or something, and they're going to come heckle us and give us some shit, or it's going to be some fucking dude or some weirdo, and who knows what the fuck happens. And this is already after we were shook up by Loop Road, and we're like, no more drama, no more stress for the night, no more sketch. So we sat there like, all right, well, what do we do? Do we want to get in trouble? Do we want to risk it? Whatever. Ultimately, we kind of just shined the lights in the water with the car lights, did a little peek and didn't see nothing. And fuck it, let's head back.
We had already spent so much money on this trip between, like, for me, it was mostly gas and then the motel and all that. And it was like, I'm not trying to get a ticket for coming out here spotlighting. Especially when it's plain as day, there's somebody right there, obviously about to watch us do this. So it was kind of one of those things, as much as I wanted to, because like this was pretty much the best spot to see a croc. And that was like one of the biggest targets for me was to see a croc out there. But at the end of the day, like, again, you don't want to do anything that's illegal out there. We always promote that on the show, like, stay within the law. Mind you, even out here, we saw those few snakes. We didn't touch a single one because out here in ENP, you cannot touch the snakes. It's called, it's wildlife harassment. Very much not supposed to do that. No snake hooks, no flashlights, don't touch anything. So we abided by all the rules out there. We didn't touch anything, and we certainly didn't want to get in trouble for shining lights on the water. So we decided it would be for the best that we just turned around. Mind you, at this point, we're basically at like the southernmost tip of the Glades, like as far south as you can get in the Everglades, and it was upsetting. We went all that way to literally go there, and we couldn't do it. So it sucked, but it is what it is.
definitely sucked a little bit. But at least you got to see it. At least you can say you made it down there.
At least I can say I've been there. I've been the Flamingo.
And then we slowly made our way back, which was another little over 2.5 hour drive back up to the Everglades City. And on our way back, Jake's obviously been up for close to 24 hours at this point. He's been on the road all day, all night. I told him, I'm like, dude, I'm not counting shit out until we get back. There's still a possibility we could see a couple targets, where these roads stay alive all night long, especially being this time of year. He's like, nodding out. I'm like, dude, just, whatever, pass out if you got to pass out. And at this point I'm just cruising down 41, cooking it around, the nighttime speed limit, not trying to miss anything. I got cars zooming around me the whole time, whatever. Cottonmouth after cottonmouth. I'm pretty sure I saw another DOR yellow on the side of the road, a couple DOR bandits. And we're getting close back to Everglades City. And at this point, I'm like, all right, we're almost back. I'll go like 50 miles an hour, whatever. Jake's still passed out. We're coming up, getting close, getting faster. Out of nowhere, there's a speed bump in the road. And
you want me to go ahead and flip to that picture?
Yeah, go ahead and flip to it. Mind you, the roads are wet. It's been raining. I scream out, "Berm!" I rip the brakes. Fucking.
I had been awake all of 5 minutes at this point.
Yeah, he's friggin' all distraught. Yells out, "What? Mind you, I did end up clipping this snake, the back 4 to 5, 6 inches of it because the roads are wet. As soon as I hit my brakes, my ABS locked up. I turned my wheel, and the wheels were sideways, but the car was sliding straight. And by the time they hooked, it was like right before the snake, and we barely weaved it. And my one passenger tire hit the tail end of it, which at the end of the story doesn't really matter because we'll get to that. But we get out. I freaking run back in the road really quick. The snake's trying to get off. I grab it by its tail, and we run over to there was actually a little cutoff area where this picture is taken where I pulled my car into, and Jake's fucking just getting waked up. He stumbles out. What? Snake burn? No way.
I was already awake. Like I was awake about 2 to 5 minutes before we saw the berm. Like I saw it on the road. I was still just kind of in a trance of being exhausted. But
homie was in the Everglades sleep trance.
Yeah, like
it. But was, he jumps out and he's like, "What the fuck?" And we sit there and wrangle it, obviously. And as we wrangle it, we are literally being eaten alive and also
alive.
Like I grab this thing behind its neck and I'm like, "Yo, let's be quick about this. I'm getting fucked." As I'm saying, "Let's be quick about this," I'm getting eaten alive. Mosquitoes are flying into my mouth. I'm choking on them, spitting them out. And then Jake's like, "Oh yeah, oh my god, yeah, oh my god!" Like it cracked me up because I'm trying to tell him what's going on. I'm like, "Bro, I just ate a mosquito. I'm choking it." And he goes, "Yeah, hurry, let's get pictures." Oh my god, there's one in my mouth. I just ate a mosquito. I'm like, "Yeah, no shit. I just told you the same thing happened to me."
I didn't just eat a mosquito. That thing flew into my mouth and hit the back of my throat.
He went back and box of that dangling thing in the back of your throat. He's like, "Let's fucking fight." So we are literally being murdered. Like it is no joke. You'll see in Jake's picture by his facial expression.
I honestly didn't put my picture in this album because I looked like a freaking goon.
Right, yeah, what's funny is they send me I didn't see the picture of Sky. I saw the picture of Jake, and they forgot to turn off the Apple Live video. So I held the picture down so I could see the little 2-second video clip.
I'm just doing that.
And it's just Jake is just doing these horrible facial contortions just because he's being pelted alive by blood-sucking demons.
It was the greatest, worst experience ever.
I guess I'll add it to the album and friggin' show it, because even though I look like a friggin' idiot in this picture, this is honestly one of the worst pictures that's ever been taken of me in my life.
So this was the best, worst moment for Jake. Not only does he get down to get his first ever lifer berm on his first trip to the Everglades, but we barely get to enjoy the fucking double-edged experience, because as we catch it and enjoy it for the brief few minutes that we did. Our blood was being drained by the second. And yeah, it was very unenjoyable all the way till the end.
Let me I had to change some stuff on here. And obviously we'll preface this, Sky, we don't need to really go into details on it, but everybody knows what happens, what you have to do whenever you catch a Burmese python in the Everglades. We will not go into detail on it, but obviously we had to do what we had to do with said python. So we will leave it at that and will not go into detail because we are responsible herpers.
We also weren't really prepared nor fully expecting to come across one, being it was such a rocket run. So I didn't bring a cooler or anything to even harvest this thing as normally I would try to harvest the skin. But we were not even ready for that, nor were we wanting to deal with it. Look at that beautiful face being eaten alive.
Dude, and like, look at his knees are bent. Like, you can see he's doing the shuffle with his feet.
He's like he's got full body clench right now. Like,
yeah, legit.
Elbows
Full body
tucked,
clench.
knees tucked. He's got his shoulders up, like he's just like, ah. I literally told him, like, bro, stop looking like you're taking a shit right now. He's like, I can't.
I was dying. Like, and Sky sat there and took it. So, like, when you take a picture when it's dark, the phone like flashes and takes a second to load. Sky's taking like 3 of them. I said, dude, just take one. Like, I'm good, bro. Like, these are like.
I would have just took one, but you looked like pure shit in the first one.
This is the best one of the 3 he took.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
That's the best of the 3 picks.
I thought the mosquitoes by me were bad. These mosquitoes came out of the pit of hell and the darkest place you could ever imagine. And just
I was going to say earlier, the reason why we saw so many cottonmouths and because we saw so many mosquitoes is because for the past like 10 days we've had torrential monsoons, so everything's flooded, everything's out, like it's mosquito heaven, man.
Perfect heaven. They were breeding, son. They were breeding.
It was hard. So this happened. I'll tell you the exact time we caught this python. We caught this python at 3:12 in the morning. Like straight up, like 3:12 in the morning.
I still don't believe they're there. I think you just got lucky.
Was that somebody's pet?
No, that was the aliens. They put it there.
The alien.
That's it.
All I'm gonna say is
they were like, "Thank you for being probed. Here, have a gift.
Have a gift." I'm gonna put this back on Sky to stop looking at my ugly mug. I will be right back. I'm gonna go make a drink. Sky, you can keep talking about what happened next. I guess go ahead and tell the. So this was about 5 minutes from our hotel, and Sky, you can talk about the fiasco that happened at the hotel following us catching a life for a berm. I'll be right back.
So we obviously get the berm. We have to do the fucking dirty work. We get back in the car, high five. Obviously, we kiss. What else are we going to do? And then we go back to the hotel. We're stoked. We're riding the high. At this point, it's 3:30 in the morning. We're tired. We're dirty. We're stinky. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm going to hop in the shower really quick. Meanwhile, the people hooked us up with the assisted living room. So it's got this huge ass shower meant to roll a freaking wheelchair in or whatever you need. And, it's as sick as it is, it's also got nothing on the ground. And there's like a little slope. So I, take a shower in it. And when I get out, I realize I flooded the whole bathroom. So I get out, use 2 of my big towels to clean up the floor, get all the water back in the drain, clean it up as best as possible. And I leave a towel as a barrier at the base of the shower. And I come out and I tell Jake, I'm like, hey, bro, watch out. The shower floods the floor and the one nozzle will turn on you. And if it does, it's just going to be squirting water straight into the floor. And he literally looks at me, he's like, all right, yeah, bet. And I'm like, okay, cool. So this man goes to the bathroom. He's in there taking a dump while the shower's heating up, which makes no sense because the water was already hot. But he's got the water.
All right. Can I preface this for just like a second?
Hey, this is my story, bro.
You're not the one who's in the bathroom when it got really messed up, all right? This This happened to me. All right, you were just there.
I just finished telling them how I finished my shower, cleaned up my whole flood, left a towel on the floor as a barrier, and explained to you, hey, this shit floods, and watch out for the handle. It twists, and it will really flood. And then you decided to go into the bathroom.
All right,
and you go
all
and tell
right.
your part of the story.
You're making it sound so much worse. All right, so I'm gonna.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna.
I literally
No,
haven't
it is that bad. It is that bad, but
I haven't exaggerated.
I'm not as stupid as I sound. So I will put it without being vulgar. I had an upset stomach for the entire week prior. Okay, so
I gotta go to the bathroom.
yeah, that. So I get to the hotel. Sky gets out, and I'm like, dude, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I do my business. So I go in, I turn on the shower, I'm about to hop in, and I'm like, it hits me again. I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom again. I had already turned off the water. So I knew what Sky had told me. So I heard what Sky told me. What I did was I turned the shower head because it was one of those showers where it only had like the nozzle that you could take off to rinse yourself down and stuff,
Right.
So I took it and I turned it to the wall so it wouldn't flood said shower. So I go back, start doing my business on the bathroom. Well, about, I don't know, a couple minutes later, all of a sudden my feet are wet. And I'm like, why are my feet wet? And my pants are wet that are on the ground. And I look over and there's, literally. I look over and there's just water pouring out of the shower. And I'm like, what the heck? So I get up, I get done. And the water pressure was so intense in the shower that when I turned it, it just moved it on back. And it wasn't just like it wasn't shooting in the shower. It was shooting out of the shower. And I'm like, well, too little, too late. Like I'm already naked. So I went ahead and took my shower real quick in there. And I was like, all right, I'm going to deal with this afterwards. By the time I get out, dude, the whole bathroom was flooded. Like there was water.
You fucking flooded it back into the main part of the room.
It was like going into the living room. Like
because I can hear him in the bathroom. Meanwhile, I'm on the bed chilling, and I'm looking at the pictures from the night and texting Phil shit. And I hear him in the bathroom.
It's like almost 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and it's like 4 something. He's like, "Oh shit! Oh fuck, it's wet in here." And I'm like, "Bro, I told you." And he's just like, "All right." A couple minutes goes by, and he's like, "Oh fuck, it's bad." And I'm like, "All right, what the hell?" So as he comes out of the bathroom, he opens the door and he's like, "Oh my God." So I get off of the bed and there's like a desk blocking the bathroom. So I get off of the bed and I walk around. As I walk around, my fucking feet get wet. I step into water and I'm like, what the fuck? There's water pouring out into the living room, dining room area of the thing. Thank God this fucking shit is all tile. I look at him like, Jake, I fucking told you, bro. This shit floods. There's a towel on the ground in the nozzle. He's like, I know, poop, flood. So then
meanwhile, like, let me just paint a picture. This is a very quaint motel, very cute. It's designed for tourists to come from out of state who want to do some mangrove fishing and some estuary fishing and some flat bottom boat fishing off the tip of Florida. It's a very, very cute little island cottage type motel, little tiki hut out front next to the check-in place. And these two chuckleheads just wrecked it.
Yeah.
Turned it into a hub.
But I will say this, by the time I got there, I honestly had no idea this had happened. So they did a good job making it right.
We used every single towel option for
every single one.
The fucking waste full-size towel you could think of to dry that place up. And then Jake's like, all right, so what do we do with all these wet towels? We literally wrung all the towels out and just hung them all over the place in the bathroom.
It was funny. So like, because we didn't wring out the towels until the next day, because we were about to leave without doing it. There's like, dude, we need to do something with these towels. Like, they're gonna know we flooded this hoe. At least we can act like we used two, because there's like 4 full size towels. It's like at least it looks like we used a different towel every night. So we put them around the little bars in the shower and just like twisted them up and just wrung as much water as we could out of them.
At one point, we almost broke the fucking bar off.
Yeah, we heard it go. I was like,
the towels out. We're like, he's like, I can't get any more out. I'm like, we just gotta crank it. We're all, you hear the bar go. We're like, all right, we're about to fucking break the bar off the wall.
yeah.
I'm like, they got my credit card, bro. They're about to fucking charge us for the whole loop in this bitch, dude.
Yeah, dude. It was my nightmare. Like,
That was a great time.
literally. But so yeah, at about 5 a.m. we finally went to bed.
That was Friday night.
Oh, that was Friday night / Saturday morning. And then I have one video from our time in where were we, Sky? Homestead? We were in
This was
Homestead,
North
right?
Homestead.
Yeah.
Yeah, North Homestead.
I took a little video of it was raining, a little video of a couple of iguanas we found.
So we had some of the shittiest weather opportunities and moon opportunities from just the time period we were hitting stuff, because we didn't end up like lounging around and sleeping for the morning part of the day and the other part of the day. So when we did make it out to Homestead, it was off and on raining. Like we would have little 5-10 minute blips where it wouldn't rain, but I was like, Jake really wanted to see an iguana. He really wanted to see a basilisk. I was like, bro, I was like, if we don't see anything, I'm sorry. It's because the fucking sun's not out. But thank God South Florida provides. We got Jake an iguana. He spotted juvenile male red-headed agama. We got some female agamas, some baby agamas. I think it was 3 or 4 brown basilisks. And obviously we got the iguanas, which is in the video right there.
And I think we saw quite a few agamas between the juveniles and the females and the one like subadult male.
Yeah, there was a good bit of females and babies for sure. Only one subadult male though. We were really hoping to see a nice bull male with that full tricolor OCC fully done.
Yeah, but that really green one right there was really cool to see. That was a really pretty one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
crazy just to see them right there on the side of the road, man. They're just freaking living in suburbia.
Well, what they're doing is those are females.
Yep.
And they're digging their burrows into the side of the canal bank.
Oh.
And then they dig a burrow and they put it at an angle so they can lay their eggs in there. And then when the water floods and the canal gets higher from our locks and levee system, the eggs are still protected.
Oh.
Yeah. So
yeah, that was cool. It was fun. I really just like I know it's dumb, like iguanas are everywhere in like Miami and whatever. I just really wanted to see one because I've never seen a wild iguana, even though it's hardly counts because it's Florida. They're still wild. So
yeah, dude, they're wild iguanas, bro.
Oh yeah,
if
they're
you
nuts.
go down to Puerto Rico or South America or Costa Rica, you're going to be seeing iguanas in the same setting just down there.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
You're seeing their natural habitat, basically.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And then we ate at a barbecue joint with what was our waitress's name there?
Oh, Cookie, old
Cookie,
sweet.
that was it.
The old Hummer from down under.
Oh,
man. Jesus.
She wanted her a piece of sky, boy. I can tell you that right now.
Hey, you knocked 10 years off that old gal. I might have gave her a run for her money.
That was funny. But then, so that night is when we met up with the illustrious Phil Wolf. And then our night got started herping with him.
We christened our adventures with Phil by greeting him while we drank Fiji water.
Yeah, I literally so I knew exactly where this motel was. I've driven past it 1,000 times, but I still had Sky send me the actual ping of where he was standing, because it's a pretty big motel, and you figure where I should pull in, park, and whatnot. And I literally pull up and I see their thing, and I see two vehicles, and I call him. I'm like, hey man, I'm here. Which room is yours? I'll pull up in front because it's pretty much vacant. And he's like, oh, we're behind you. Back up and take the spot next to the Kia. I didn't know they took the Kia. And I back up, and as I'm pulling in the parking spot, I look through my windshield and I see both of them in the window with the blinds drawn, holding bottles of Fiji water, going, look at us, as they sip the Fiji water from the window. Best greeting I've ever had.
Literally, right before we got to the hotel, we stopped at a gas station, and this guy's like, "Here's a Fiji water for when Phil gets here."
It brought us good luck, bro. You can talk all the shit you want.
It did. It does.
We had a absolutely killer night with Phil, at least early on.
Yeah, it was a good time, boys. Good time.
Yeah, had a great time.
So yeah, we basically I took them up through Big Cypress and some of the dirt roads and around there, and it's crazy because this was a Saturday night, and like I was telling them, on a Saturday night in summer, you're going to see some fishermen. You might see some birders. Like you'll see one guy coming out of the woods in full camouflage with a giant telephoto lens. You know he's a birder. That's what he's doing. But man, there was a lot of python hunters out there, man.
Lots.
Just a big old lifted truck with massive lights and 8 or 9 kids in the back, just driving around, spotlighting everything they can because they're the only ones allowed to have a spotlight. And like looking in the trees and stuff. Like I don't know what the hell they're looking for, but
yeah, I think we also encountered a couple of rogues out there. I don't think a couple of those people were just like out of towners who didn't realize how fucking retarded they were being and breaking tons of laws.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
But yes, we saw an absolute ton of contractors.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like if you go to those same roads on like a Tuesday night, we would be the only ones there. You know what I mean? So I think the conditions were good, despite we were talking about the full moon and everything. It was still a little drizzly, and we had all that high water. So was this the first snake we found?
I believe so.
All right. So you guys take it away.
So this was, I really liked this find.
Yeah, this is very unique.
Yeah, for me, like obviously, if you want to put, I'm not going to say it's melanistic, but that's about as dark as a Nerodia gets. Like this thing was
pretty melanistic. The bands itself weren't even very red. They were
when I say melanistic, I mean as far as an actual morph is concerned. This isn't an actual morph.
No, it's just black Nerodia.
Black Nerodia, like very, very good looking Florida banded water snake. So that was a really, really awesome individual. And then this is a cottonmouth. Sky, we found one. Sky was like, dude, take a picture like I took earlier. And I was like, hold on, let me look not stupid. And I still ended up looking stupid. This time I actually look like I am taking a shit. Oh, that's cool. But yeah, you can see the headlamp in my hands because it was on my head. My hat was backwards. I was like, I already know I look stupid as shit wearing this. So
I think that was the biggest cotton of the night, right?
That was a big one, yeah.
It's good size.
Yeah. And if there are any other pictures I'm missing from this, y'all feel free. I just there was a lot of overlap between our pictures because we all shared stuff and I saved them all. I just kind of picked the best ones.
Did I send you the video of us driving by the sunset?
You did not.
Oh, I did. I knew I missed something because I know I sent you a bunch of photos, but
at least I don't think you did. But if you want to go ahead and send that to me, I'll add it.
Yeah, I'll send it right now. Yeah. I mean, it's stupid. It's just us driving by the sunset, but still.
That was such a beautiful entrance, though.
Oh, it's not stupid. That was wonderful. But yeah, and of course the night continued with cottonmouths. I mean, just out the freaking wazoo.
Wazoo. Yeah, we got another 10 plus cottonmouths the second night as well.
Yeah, it's all because of that high water. The Everglades is that natural filtration system, and this area is all cypress forest, and it's not designed to be that filtration system. It's actually designed to hold the water there and be stagnant, because the cypress trees, they use so much water to survive that they we refer to it as a cypress head, is when a lot of cypress trees converge into one little circular patch, if you will. And you may have like an upland prairie or like palmetto scrubland, and there'll be this small little divot in the earth with maybe 100 cypress trees, and in that little cypress head is, say, 4 to 6 inches of water. And well, imagine that, but this is the entire wilderness we're around. So the only dry land is really the roads we're driving on.
Exactly.
And,
Exactly.
So I'm pretty sure that video is sent, Jake.
yes, it is. I just added it to the album. I just have to wait for.
Yeah, no worries.
There we go.
Cool.
So here's that video.
This is us driving out to where we found that black Nerodia.
I mean,
you can see that's all flooded.
It doesn't get any better than that, man.
Who's yelling in the background?
That was you,
That's
and
you.
then you never close, baby. And Phil goes flipping fucking tin.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna watch that one.
Yeah, it's just so, and like the camera doesn't do it justice. I mean, you're literally getting a mirror image of the sky on the flooded plain.
That's awesome.
Man.
That shit was great.
This was another just absolute freaking smoke show of a cop.
That was that little caramely looking baby.
Yeah.
Dude. I remember that one. The whole body tone was just like a totally light brown, not even black or nothing. It was
this
more light
one.
brown.
The green tail had just started disappearing on this one.
Yeah. I feel like if that snake didn't have the green tail and it didn't have the brown on the face, it could have very well been an anery type animal because of how gray scale it was. Almost no.
Yeah, the black wasn't black. It was just dark brown or
It
dark.
was just gray scale. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really cool one to see.
Yeah, man. Swamp lions for days.
And I need to go because I don't think I put our special video on here.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get any from you guys. I just have one that I took.
Didn't. Obviously, I couldn't.
Yours was long.
Well, here I have shorties. I'll send you the shorties.
I have an 18-second video on mine where you can see it, but you don't actually see it happening.
Oh, hold on. I got good ones. Yeah.
And just explain it.
Yeah, you have still pictures too, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I have still pictures coming. Or I have a still picture coming that you may have taken this one. But yeah,
I'm gonna send
have
them
on
in order. What's that?
The picture I have on here of this encounter was one you took.
Okay.
So any videos you have would be appreciated.
All right.
But that's not until later in the night. We're gonna get to.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and send those to Adam as we're going. We'll get to one of my favorite finds of the night.
I already know
that.
what it is.
That was this.
All right.
Just absolute banger of a Nerodia. And that picture, we're gonna get to the next one.
Shit.
Look,
there
at
it is.
That.
Zoom in on that thing. Zoom in.
That is without a doubt, hands down, zero questions asked, the best Nerodia I've ever fucking put hands on.
And hindsight, we should have kept it.
Dude, I texted Jake 2 days after, and I literally like, bro, I am still looking at these Nerodia pictures right now, and I am gawking. Like, what in the fuck did we do?
Even if we gave that snake to a friend who would appreciate it more than us, I feel like that snake right there would have been a valuable contribution to herpetoculture.
Dude, that thing had a yellow topside with the most fiery, bright orange sides. You could see the consistency all the way down the body. There was not a super dark spot anywhere. It was just flush all the way down. Like I'll say it again, without a doubt, the best Nerodia I've ever put hands on.
Yeah, I can confidently say that's probably the prettiest Nerodia I've ever found.
Dude, I want to go back just to find something like that again because I'm like, that thing fucking,
yeah,
that thing was great. That thing was great. That one took me for the best snake of the night for sure.
Yeah, and that's the perfect size too, right? Like it's not a neonate, it's not an adult that you're going to take from the wild. Like that's the perfect size specimen to collect. And dude, you know that growing up in captivity, it's not going to lose color. It's not going to get dirty from the wild. Like, it's just a screamer.
We fumbled on that one.
We did. We you know what it is? We had consciences and said, no, this is a beautiful creature. We should leave it be. And none of us are Nerodia guys, really. So we left it. But
You said it when we were all literally, we all sat there for a second and we were like, we should take this. We should definitely take this. Let's put it in a Fiji bottle. Phil was even like, there's a Fiji bottle in the back seat.
I literally, yeah.
And then we were all sat there for a second and Jake goes, I don't know. I kind of don't want to do this because a lot of times when you bring the wild ones, they'll just crash and I will feel like a total piece of shit if we take this thing from the wild and it crashes and dies. And Phil goes, you know what? Let's let it go, boys. Just let it make more in the wild. And I was like, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
And that was my thing with it. I am a Nerodia guy. I love Nerodia. And yes, I would have loved to have this thing in my collection. It was an absolute stunner of an animal. And by the way, I showed this to Montross, and he does think it may have been a cross of some kind, like a hybrid. Not exactly sure what with, but he does think it may have been some type of hybrid. But so my reasoning, so yes, I am a Nerodia head. I love my Nerodia. But I've never established a wild caught animal. I have wild caught animals, but they were established by Chris. Not by myself. So hindsight, yes, it would have been awesome. But as beautiful as this thing was, I know the risks that come with taking Nerodia. Establishing a Nerodia is not like establishing a rat snake. Okay. Nerodia are very much filled with a lot of parasites from eating the food that they eat out in the wild. And they're a high stress animal. They're high strung, and a lot of wild caughts just kind of crash, for no reason. And between the drive I would have had to take, back and everything, like, because of how just insanely beautiful this animal was, it would have broke my heart if I would have taken this thing from its natural environment and brought it to my collection to have it crash a month later.
Yeah.
Like it would have destroyed me, and it was pretty much on me. Like, these guys weren't going to take it. It was going to be me that took it if somebody did.
Considered it.
I know you thought about it. I was hoping you would.
I look back now and I wish I would have, because it would have been better for me to do it. I could have got a natural water sources, and if shit started to go bad, I could have literally just been like, you know what, maybe fucking take this bitch back down there so it fucking doesn't die. Yeah. So it was one of those things. It really would have crushed me if I took it and it didn't do well. And it was like, it wouldn't have even been a breeding thing for me. I would have kept this just solely for display. But it just, for some reason, normally if I'm going to keep something, I pretty much on site right then and there, I'm like, oh, this is coming home. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. But it was getting to me, like y'all were asking, and it just wasn't sitting right with me for some reason. And I went with my gut and decided this wasn't.
And we made the right choice, guys. We did.
Yeah.
I'll also say that where we were, we have full ability to collect between the amount of harmless stuff and my venomous license. We could have taken anything we wanted from where we were. So this is not in like a protected area or anything.
No. We would not. We would not do that. Yeah, absolutely. This would have been completely legal.
Yep.
Nothing would have been wrong with doing this. We were not in ENP or anything like that.
I will also add that everyone knows how colors and everything gets diluted through pictures.
Yeah.
Just please throw some preference into this snake, because when we say it's literally on fire and insane, the pictures do no justice.
I slightly edited this picture to bring out its more natural colors.
Okay,
like
good.
that is like almost identical to what that thing looked like, except better in person.
Yeah,
like this thing was glowing on the road. I mean, the tiger, it's got freaking tiger stripes on it.
I mean, it's legit. It's as banded as you get.
Yeah. It's as tiger stripe as you. When I was looking back at it, that's all I was thinking this week. I was like, that's a straight up tiger Nerodia, dude.
This picture is This picture is unedited whatsoever. I didn't do anything to this photo. This is with a phone with a flashlight. Like to
Like,
show
what the
that much in that low of a quality picture with just a freaking flashlight on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
what
Like
the hell, bro?
it doesn't get any better than that, man. Like, and this I love this picture so much.
So do
Like
I.
Sky had it posed up so perfectly, and it was just this was probably my this was not probably this was my favorite find of the weekend.
That was my favorite find without a doubt.
So,
That was the shit, man.
but now that we've glazed this Nerodia enough, we'll continue on with our finds. This is a picture that Phil took of me and Sky on another juvenile cottonmouth.
Yeah, we moved the shit off the road.
Yeah, I love this picture though. I thought that was a really good one.
Yeah, it's a good picture.
Real quick.
I try to get as much candid shit as I can, just
Yeah.
because everyone's always so enamored with the animal that like we almost forget to capture the moment. So a lot of times when I'm on herp trips, like there's really barely any photos of me, but I do try to get as many photos of everyone else as a group, herping, photography, everything as I can.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that makes me feel bad now. I wish I would have taken pictures of you, Phil.
Nah, don't worry about that.
I got pictures of Phil.
It's wanker shot.
And some other ones, but yeah, his
And some other ones. There's that one. Oh, and this one, man. This was a bombshell for me, dude. This was my life.
Was lit about that shit.
I was so hyped, dude. Like, so to preface this, the night before, me and Sky found a giant snake on Friday night that was dead on the road. It was so big, we thought it was a berm. We knew it was dead, but we whipped around. And I was like, dude, you sure it was a berm? He was like, it was either a berm or a giant green water snake. And so we whipped around to go look at what it was. And sure enough, it was every bit of a 5.5, 6 foot long dead green water snake. And I was very, very upset by that. Like, I was not happy to see such a beautiful beast dead on the road.
That thing was a fucking grandpa, granddaddy too. Dude.
Yeah,
that thing was. When we say this thing was like a berm, or like, I mean, it literally was
not exaggerating.
Sausage in the road is big around my arm, like
that thing was just about as big as the berm we actually found alive.
I think it was bigger than the berm we found alive.
It was close, dude. Like, yeah, actually, it was probably longer.
Yeah,
like this thing was gigantic.
And I'll say this too, is that when we get like snake calls, everyone's like, "There's a python in my yard." I would say at least 95% of the time, especially if it's north of Miami, it's a giant green water snake.
Yeah. And to preface, these are also green water snakes are the largest Nerodia in North America. Browns and Diamondbacks are, probably tied for second behind them, but green water snakes are can get gigantic. We see there was a girl who found one like several months ago, maybe even last year or something, that was literally every bit of 6.5 feet long.
Wow.
And like as big around as my forearm. Like it was huge. The dead one we found was not that big, but it was.
Is that the moon behind your head?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that was a cool picture. Really, really liked that. I was so excited about the snake. I didn't even take a picture of it on the ground, like as it lay kind of picture. I just picked it up and was like so enamored with this thing. It was just gorgeous. I was so happy.
And that was one of Jake's lifer targets.
This was my lifer. This was my lifer green. I still need a lifer green for South Carolina, specifically for my state list. Because we do get Florida green water snakes here, very small pockets, but they do occur. But yes, this was a lifer for me. Very, very ecstatic. And then the next most awesome find of the night was this gorgeous corn snake.
Beautiful snake.
Man. Textbook corn snake.
I literally saw it and I was like, I didn't know y'all had Okeetees in South Florida.
Legit, man. It looks like a natural Okatee. It
It
does.
does. It
The
really
black
does.
thing we're even all the way down, baby.
And there's the three of us looking like a couple of nerds.
Couple of cucks.
I love that picture though, dude.
Yeah,
That
it's a
was
good shot, man. It's a good shot.
I loved that. And then I
Really
took this.
the corn guitar, bro.
I took this awesome picture of it.
And for people looking, that's unedited. Like that's just a cell phone flash.
Just the picture.
Right. And that snake is radioactive.
Yeah.
That thing was so just perfect.
Dude, can you zoom in on that one, Jake? Just
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, zoom in on that one.
Take us back. Take us back.
I know, right?
So this, I want y'all to look at this.
Hold up. Take your cursor right above your pointer finger right now. Tell me that doesn't look like a little fucking bird head right there in that little blown out spot. Dude, that's that Mikosuke freaking Indian bird head for you right there, brother.
But I want everybody to look at this, and if you're listening online, this is at least one you should go back to. This is why rat snakes got the name Panther ophis, like because of this panther-like pattern that corn snakes have. This is where the name Panther ophis came from. Is these blotches just all over their body, and this was just such a wonderful find.
Yeah, man.
Like, don't get me wrong, it would have been really, because this is what I find by me. Like, this is like a textbook corn snake by me. So yes, would I have liked to have seen more of that South Florida look in a corn snake? Yes, but to have seen such a stunning and healthy animal, this was an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, they don't normally look like this down here. They don't.
No. Like, I was honestly very surprised to see it look like that down there.
Yeah, and like I was telling the guys, I've got a pair of Lee Abbott Okeetees that are just as Sharpie marker black as you can get, and this thing gives my snakes a run for its money.
Absolutely. And this is a wild occurrence. This was a wild snake. Yours have been line bred for,
generations. Yeah.
Mike Kasicki was talking about the side blotches, and Mike, that was literally one of the things I was ranting and raving about when we got this thing. Fucking just the side blotches on that thing were just as big as the top saddles in some of the areas, man. It looked awesome.
Oh yeah.
The only blemish on this snake was it's hard to see, but you see a little black dot right here. It had some type of scar that had healed over on its back, but it was right there if you can see my cursor. But other than that, this snake was perfect. Didn't have any weird welts of having a parasite load. Like, this thing was just immaculate. And it's funny. So I took a picture before, and it had a star in the background. And Phil was like, "Oh, is that the moon?" I was like, "No, but I'm about to take another picture," because I didn't think about getting the moon in the background like that. And just wonderful, absolutely wonderful individual.
Such a beautiful snake, man. I'm so glad we got that thing.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
This is the power of the Flippin Tin gear, y'all. This is what you find. This is what you find when you herp out in your Flippin Tin shirt and hats.
That's it.
So that's the power.
Worms, water snakes, bandits like you've never seen before.
As long as you drink Fiji water.
Fiji water too. Gotta have the Fiji water. And again, this is an unedited photo just with a light that I bent down and took. Like,
zoom in on that one.
I was about to zoom in on this.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this freaking gem.
Like, damn, man. Even for the cell phone, it's a great shot.
Yeah, dude. I've gotten really good at cell phone pictures. I can't say that. Are
you a photographer?
I used to be. Man, just beautiful.
That thing was great.
What a snake. What a find.
The apricot blotches in the yellow parts of the neck were so strong. It was really fucking awesome.
Yeah, like, this is a very accurate depiction of what the snake looked like. Like, with beautiful yellows right here, that white underside with the red saddles, and just
and like Sky was saying, the apricot that comes up into the face stripes, like,
yeah,
just great looking, man.
Freaking textbook, dude.
Textbook.
I mean, It doesn't get better than that, man.
Like if you want to show somebody a textbook ideal corn snake and they've never seen one before, that's the animal to show them, right?
Yeah, legit.
And what's
That's
sad
the
is
one.
I won't even say this is sad. Just goes to show how nice the snake was. I 100% could have collected this, brought it to a show, slapped Okati on it, and nobody would have batted an eye.
Yeah, for sure.
Not a single person. Like, that is as good looking as corn snakes get in the wild, man. So that was awesome. I just love this picture. I'm going to show it again because it was awesome.
Great
Love
photo. Great
Love
photo.
Love it. And then this, so we found another green water snake, and I actually had the sense to take a picture of it on the ground.
I really like that picture, man, because that's how we saw it. Just a little bit of periscope, slowly cruising across the road.
So this thing, it was funny. We were trying to I was trying to gather this thing to take a picture of it. I managed to get one before it started going fucking crazy. And this thing, the first time this has ever happened to me, this thing was kind of coming towards me, and these guys were like, just grab it. And I'm like, I'm trying to grab it, and it's moving all over the place. And this thing got to my feet, and on your shoelaces, you have the little hoops on your shoelaces. Yeah, the bunny ears on your shoelaces. This thing went through the shoelace of my thing, like in that little hoop from where my shoes were tied. Somehow it ended up going through my shoelace, and then I was all kinds of discombobulated trying to get this thing out of my shoes. Like it was nuts. But this is actually a good sized animal. This was probably what, 4 foot?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it was 3.5 plus, pushing 4 foot for sure.
Yeah, this was a good sized animal, very healthy. I mean,
which you could tell right there, there's a tire track going through its mid body, and there was a lot of big trucks on this road. So that isn't no compact car tire track. So you could see it was a good 3 to 4 tire tracks across. That thing was pushing 4 foot.
And you can see how thick it is based on that tire track, man. Like that's a healthy snake. Like that was one thing about the Glades that was so nice. Every snake you found was just healthy as could be. Like nice and plump and thick and just anything you want to see while you're field herping. That's it. Like these were all just textbook beautiful, healthy animals, man. And I think we're getting to the story of the night, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And we are. So Phil, I want you to take this one over, man.
We're waiting on him. He's not in the screen.
Oh, he's not in the screen. Okay, I did not know that. We're gonna wait on Phil. We're gonna cream over this green water snake first.
This was there he is.
He's back.
He is back. So Phil, we're about to. Can you hear me, brother?
Oh yeah.
We're about to come up to the number one encounter of the night, and
excellent.
We want you to take over and narrate the situation with your beautiful, illustrious voice.
Oh, geez. All right. So clearly, this is exactly what it seems like. This is a juvenile, I would say probably yearling size cottonmouth predating on a leopard frog. And we were driving down the road. I want to say Jake saw it first. I know I didn't. Jake saw it first, but
I was out of the car first,
mm-hmm.
and I saw it. And so what I saw, this thing, it was faced the other way when I saw it.
It was facing away from us, right?
Yeah. Well, it was facing to the right of us. Like it was like
facing off the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I saw these legs hanging out. And I thought it was like guts, like this thing had been freshly hit.
Yeah.
It was kind of flopping around. I was like, oh shit, like one of these assholes just hit this snake, like blah blah blah. Then I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a second, like,
yeah,
that's not what happened.
This photo isn't a good photo. We had photos. I don't know if maybe I didn't send them to you or what, but of the snake just starting to get its head.
Yeah, that was probably 10 minutes into the interaction.
Yeah, exactly. So we basically see that the snake is predating on this deceased leopard frog, and it's hard to see in the photos, but basically the leopard frog's legs and abdomen had been split open, and the muscle tissue was showing. So we determined that the frog had probably got hit by a car. The snake happened to be crossing the road, maybe smelled the blood or smelled the frog itself, and came over and just started consuming it. Because there's no way that a snake's bite or a snake's strike could inflict the damage that this frog had. So the snake starts eating it. We're jumping for joy. We're screaming. We're hooting and hollering. Thank God they don't have external ears. And we're high-fiving and like, okay, well, we got to record it. We got to record it. So Skylar gets down on one knee and just starts filming it. And he wants to get the whole thing start to finish. And
Guy was a trooper during
trooper,
this.
man, trooper. And meanwhile, Jake and I are kind of, what's that?
I said I got fucking annihilated for that video.
Yeah.
Which you did stand by me for most of it with the thermocell, but the few times you walked away, I was like, all right, take it like a champ.
Yeah, man. You did great. You did great. And I can't wait to see the whole video when you do air it. But basically, Jake and I tried to get as close as we could without disturbing the snake because we didn't want it to throw this thing up. We didn't want it to spit it out and get spooked, and ruin its meal because this may be one of the only meals it gets this season. So we tried to be as careful as we could and stay back as far as we could and keep our lights off it directly. There was one point when I got a little too brazen and it saw me, or maybe it saw the silhouette of me in the light, and it stopped. And you could tell had it not had a mouthful of frog, it would have cottonmouth gaped at me. You remember that, Jake?
Oh yeah,
it
it kind of
like
did
twitch,
like little bob.
yeah, it did that little twitch. And after we stopped moving, I kind of backed up real slow. It just continued to consume the frog.
This video right here is more towards the beginning because you can see the front legs of the frog here.
Yeah, we were still afraid to get too close because we didn't want to. Again, it wasn't that we were afraid to get close. It was we didn't want to spook the snake and ruin its meal.
Yeah, we waited like the first 10 minutes or so. And once it got past the set of arms and stuff, that's when you guys moved in to take those pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Once we were like, all right, it's most likely not going to spit it out.
And like, I was talking to Nipper about this yesterday, and he said that in the thousands of snakes he's seen in the wild across the planet, because the man's been herping for, I don't want to be insulting, but I'd say damn near over, if not at least 40 years. He said he's only ever seen a snake predating in the wild twice. Wow. So for us to see this, I mean, we didn't see the strike. Obviously, we assumed that the frog got hit by a car. But for us to see this, it truly is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, especially a North American pit viper,
And all three of us together, dude.
And all three of us together, exactly.
And then it's not like we saw it at the end. We saw this thing probably right after it had found the frog. Like it's right. The tip of the frog's nose was just into the snake's mouth when we rolled up on it.
Right. And when we were coming back, we had driven a while and hit a dead end and turned around, and that frog was not hit when we drove. So there was actually 2 or 3 cars that had passed us. They were probably out at the end of the road fishing. There's a little fishing area down there. So I imagine they were fishing. It got dark. They turned around. They passed us exiting, and they probably hit the frog unbeknownst to them, which then gave this juvenile cottonmouth a meal of the month.
So this video I'm about to play is actually the one I took. This is how we found it. And I'll zoom in before I play the video. You can see why I thought it had been hit, because I know it's blurry, but you can see the frog here from a distance, and that looks like spilled out guts.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I thought it was hit, but this was as we walked up on it. I took this video. Like it had just started at that point. It's literally right at its head.
That was so great experience, man.
Then more pictures as I work down. Again, we tried not to disturb it too much, so we weren't getting too close till it was a lot farther down. We literally watched this thing basically from beginning to end. We were out there for nearly 20 minutes watching this thing eat.
Yeah, because the eating portion of it was just under 13 minutes. So,
yeah.
And Sky is going to edit his long video into a short, like time lapse video, so we can post it on the page. But like this thing at this point, like it was, that's its legs sticking out of its mouth. Like that's just it was an incredible experience.
And
Phil,
then after,
was this the first time you'd seen a snake predating in the wild?
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen a snake eat something in the wild. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. The only one other time I've seen on two different occasions, I saw pygmies basically stalking prey. One time I watched a pygmy rattlesnake on the shoulder of the road, basically indecisive as to which toadlet it was going to eat. There was like two or three toads in front of it, and it was going like, do I get the one on the right or the one on the left? Right or left? Right or left? And then another time I saw a pygmy basically following a large, I don't even know what kind of species of beetle it was. And it was basically trailing this beetle, waiting for the beetle to stop moving. So I guess it could lunge. But by the time I had walked over it, it got spooked by me and it slithered off in the grass. So those are the only two times I've ever remotely seen something being consumed in the wild. And now we got to watch this. It's incredible.
This was one of the last pictures that was taken. And so this is literally like at the ass end of it. It's just got some legs sticking out here.
the foots. And we were all sitting there going like, oh man, hopefully no more cars is coming by after it eats it. We'll give it a couple minutes, and then if we have to, we'll kind of double hook it off the road. And the snake finished the frog. We were all still standing there talking and watching it. It kind of does a little curl up. It's fucking just chilling right in the middle of the road in the moonlight. Do you have the picture of it that I took of it chilling in the road with the moon in the background or no?
I did you send that to us?
I'm sending you one right now.
But anyway, we sat there. It chilled for a second. We were sitting there admiring it as it got the frog down into its belly. It's just chilling, looking like a stud in the moonlight, and then starts to scoot its way off. Did its own thing. So not only did we not have to touch it, we got to watch it eat and then go on its way back into the glades. So
Yeah.
if that is a satisfying feeling or just experience, then I don't know what is, because I felt pretty accomplished after that.
Hell yeah.
We didn't do anything.
Hell yeah. Dude, it was amazing accomplishment for us. I'm very proud of us. And like the fact that it sidewindered off the road.
Like, just like, all right, later, back off into it.
Like, thanks, dudes. And it was actually, I feel good that we stayed and watched because there was two trucks that drove past.
Yeah.
And like,
there was one.
One? Okay.
Oh, the one stopped, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
the guy
there was
kind of
two.
stopped.
One kind of stopped. We were like, oh, we're just watching a snake eat. And he was like, oh, okay. And then there was another one that just kind of creeped by.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
But still, had we not been there, they may have hit it. They may have hit it intentionally. They may have.
Oh, they would.
Intentionally.
They would have hit it.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Did you get that video, Jake?
Yes, I am about to.
Yeah, because that thing was literally directly in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
If my stuff will load and it's not, it takes a second because I do this on my phone and then it has to load on.
Yeah, cloud to the MacBook.
Annoying. But that video you sent, Phil, is actually really dope.
Nice.
That's perfect. Still not there yet. Hold on.
We'll play that one more time.
I'll play this one more time. It's a short one. At this point, he's like, all right, y'all are too close. Like,
yeah,
back up a little bit. But, so I guess maybe I've just been lucky in the past. This was actually the third time I have seen a snake predating in the wild.
Oh, wow.
Which, yeah, I'll count my lucky stars on that one.
Yeah.
The first time was actually in South Texas. I found a diamondback water snake eating a catfish.
That's awesome.
He was having a very hard time going over his spikes by his fins. And then the second time I found a funny, they've all been water type snakes. The second time was a red belly eating a frog on the side of a road.
Very cool.
I don't know why this is not loading on here. Let me get out of the screen real quick and see if I can't. Let me hide this real quick and see if I can't
Yeah.
get that to load because I really want to show that video because
Yeah.
that was awesome. But yeah, man, I mean, this was just like it was really the experience of a lifetime seeing
Yeah.
something like
It
that.
was the trip christening experience for all three of us that we'll never forget, that we'll be
Yeah.
able to reference back to till we all die, you know.
Hell yeah.
Like, remember that time we all sat getting fucking molested by mosquitoes while we watched the
Oh
Cottonmouth?
yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. So these
Oh my
guys
God.
were smart and they wore pants on the second night. I drove straight from work. I left my work and drove 120 miles to meet up with them. And I had shorts and a t-shirt. And I was like, oh, it's Florida. I'll be fine. And like I had just been a few months back. I had just been to where we were with Nipper, and there was mosquitoes, but like I had the thermocell. Like it wasn't that big a deal. Ladies and gentlemen, I almost left work because I was so fucked up from the knees down because I'm holding the thermocell. So like my whole upper body is perfectly fine, but from my knee to my ankle, I got destroyed. I was taking Zyrtec and Benadryl and putting anti-itch cream on. So I didn't actually count them, but I've probably got 40 or 50 bites per leg from the knee down.
That's
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that one bit.
I weirdly didn't get that many like actual bites.
Oh, dude, I got destroyed.
I
I
didn't
got a
get
shit
many
ton on my
bites.
arms, on my
I'm
back.
surprised I didn't from the night before. Obviously, I
Yeah.
had pants on, but the night before, somehow I didn't end up with that many bug bites, which was great.
Well, I feel like I got wrecked mostly doing the cottonmouth thing, and then that little mangrove estuary we went to.
Yeah.
That I think that's where I really got destroyed.
That
Oh,
was
y'all,
bad.
yeah, y'all really pussed out on me on that one.
Dude, I couldn't, man. I just couldn't do it.
I was so determined to find a Clark eye over there, dude, because the habitat was just perfect.
It was
I was like-
literally the spot I found the crucicorn.
I was like, I'm gonna find not even just a Clark eye, the mangrove salt marsh snake. So Nerodia Clark eye compressicata.
Oh, compressicauda. What did I say?
I thought you said compressicata.
Oh, I said crassicauda. That's a scorpion. Sorry.
No, compressicata.
Compressicauda.
Yeah. So I was determined, and then Sky and Phil are over there. I don't know if I just like locked in, and so the bugs weren't bothering me as bad. But I was so determined to find one of these things. I was like locked in, looking in all the trees, on the ground, just everywhere. I had managed to get, I don't know how far away from Phil and Sky, and I was like, oh man, I can barely hear them over there. I should probably walk back. We're getting a little muddy over here.
Yeah.
But this is a picture Sky took of the predating cottonmouth over the moon. Great picture. And then this is the badass video Phil took of it scurrying off.
With a nice fat belly full of frog.
Big old belly, boy.
That video came out better than I thought.
Oh, that came out great, dude. We're gonna watch that again. So
It was quick.
As cool as this was, the best part of it all to me was that we did not have to hook this animal. We didn't have to mess with it. You know, we literally kept it safe while it ate and took our pictures, and then it wandered off the road by itself. We didn't have to hook it off, like to make sure it got off.
Yeah, we didn't goose it or poke
Nothing.
it or anything. It just
We
did its
didn't
own
even
thing.
We didn't even corral it off. Like sometimes you just kind of follow a snake, being like, "All right, come on, let's go."
Yeah.
Nothing. This
It
thing
did
did it all on its own.
That was the best part, man.
Yeah,
gotta
for
watch
sure.
Watch this.
We
one
just
more.
observed. All we did was
Yes.
observe, and it's fucking awesome.
And that's a lot of like, and you know, guys, that's a lot what like we try and promote on Flippin Tin is it's not about grabbing everything, it's not about hooking everything, it's not about tailing venomous snakes, it's not about any of that. It's about seeing these things in their natural habitat and seeing their natural behaviors. And this was as natural behavior as it got, you know, like
For sure.
This was just an incredible experience, incredible find.
Yeah, man.
And just definitely the experience of the weekend watching this, and the fact that we got to do it all together. Because it's one thing like when you're by yourself and you see something cool, like it's fun, you can document it and like you can be all stoked. But when you're with your best friends and you see something like this and all you're just high-fiving, hooting and hollering,
Yeah.
and hugging and all the good stuff, man. Like you're just, it's something that you can take home, for a lifetime, dude. Like this right here was a moment me, Sky, and Phil will treasure forever. Just so grateful that I got to experience this with you boys. But this was the first time I actually watched a wild snake eat completely. I've seen stuff again. I saw the diamondback water snake with a catfish in its mouth. Same thing with the red belly, like it just had the frog in its mouth. But I didn't sit there and actually watch it eat, and sitting here and watching this thing eat with y'all was just, it was awesome, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
well said. Well said.
Incredible time, incredible trip. And then, of course, the last snake of the night was a cottonmouth.
That thing was a tank, though.
Yeah, that was a good.
That was funny as shit, though, because it was like right after we had got a snake. It was right after that other green water snake, I think, right?
Yeah.
And it was like right after we got back in the car. And that snake was pretty far up, but it was in the headlights. And Jake goes, I'm like halfway through doing something. I like had a drink or I was doing something or eating a cookie. And Jake goes, oh, there's another snake up in the road. And there was like a moment of silence and I go, snake, but it was like right in Jake's ear, and Jake goes, I just fucking said that, Sky.
Well, it was funny because when I said it, we were like really far away, and Phil slammed on brakes. It was like, where? I was like, it's up there. Like, it's up there. It's not right in front of us. Like, I can see it way up because it was a good sized snake. And then 5 seconds later, Sky's like, snake. I'm like,
dude, he had a cookie on the brain, man.
I was eating a cookie, okay?
He had Cookie the waitress and Cookie the cookie.
I was about to say no pun intended, right? Yeah. So that's everything I had saved for the show, I think. Yep. So yeah, I think that about sums up our trip, boys.
Hell yeah.
About for species. I mean, we did see that DOR yellow rat snake together. That was pretty good sized, unfortunately. I don't know if you guys remember coming across that joker.
Was that with me? That wasn't with me.
Yeah, I remember we stopped, we got out, and we looked at it, and we're like,
oh yeah. That was down on the island.
Well, if he was going to stop us, he would have got us because we just got out with our flashlights.
Yeah, that dude was asleep.
Yeah, he was definitely asleep.
Yeah. But you would never expect a big ass yellow rat snake to be on that little island, would you?
No, and the thing was we were on that little road, like out of the island, so it was nothing but water on both sides of the road and mangroves.
Legit. Yep.
Which is crazy as shit.
Yeah, man.
And sure enough, big old yellow rat snake, which unfortunately we got to go back and get Jake his rat snakes because the one that we did see alive, I fumbled it, and then the one that we saw with Phil was unfortunately freshly hit.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know what's going on in the chat for anybody who knows.
What is going on? I was looking at that going, people.
So
I think those are scammers.
No, Kayla Stewart is actually my beautiful, wonderful girlfriend.
No, I meant the other one with all the emojis.
I believe that is her friend.
Oh, okay.
She is at dinner with her friends right now, and I believe that is what's happening in the chat currently. I have not been in the chat because I've been on the pictures. So, yeah. Love you, babe. I'm sorry I didn't see your comments before, but yes, that is my beautifully wonderful girlfriend, and I believe that's her friend Presley. Don't really know what's going on there, but yes. Oh man, but yeah, this was also Presley. If you're calling me the redheaded stepchild because I have a red beard, you can go fuck yourself.
All right.
But yeah, man, I mean, this was a trip of a lifetime, y'all. I mean, this was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Couldn't have asked for a better time. We
for the amount of time that we were there, I mean,
dude, yeah, I mean, this all happened. We just made a 2.5 hour episode out of everything that happened in less than 48 hours.
Yeah, Legit.
We got there, like we said, Friday at 5:30 is when we got down into the Everglades, and we left Sunday morning. We were in my car back on the road in Naples by 9:30.
Wow.
We were actually on 75 headed north at 9:30, just getting out of Naples. So yeah, like 36 hours basically. And we got more than 30 live snakes either in hand or chauffeured off the road. And who knows how many DORs. We got 7 species of snake alive. We got 4 invasive species of lizard. We don't know how many nulls we saw species wise because there is like 10 or so different species of brown anole. We've seen a couple different looking ones when we were down there in North Homestead. But I mean, for the amount of time we were there, full moon, I feel like me and Jake and Phil fucking killed it for sure. And we also got on something that some people, this isn't talking about just Phil, but some people live down in the Everglades for their whole life or 20 plus years and never see a Burmese python. And we got one for Jake on his first ever trip. So that was a huge
I tell you this all the time. I've lived here since 2000 and I've never seen a python. So
that blows my mind, dude.
Yeah.
I was actually when we found it, I texted Kayla and I was like, we found this python. And I was like, and I'm kind of cherishing it a little bit. It was bittersweet, of course. But it was one of those things that I was like, I feel very lucky right now because
you're part of 2% of the world population.
Yes, I've been here. I haven't been here 24 hours, and we found a python. My buddy's been here over 20 years, and he's never seen one.
Yep.
And it was like, how does that? Because I was not. I'll be honest. I knew the chances were there to find a python. I was not counting on it because of what you have said in the past, Phil. Like I was like, it's probably not going to happen. If it does, cool. If it doesn't, then whatever. But the fact that we got one, I was like, holy shit! Like, count your freaking blessings, dude. Like,
oh yeah.
And it sounds like, let's be honest, you want to find a python in the Everglades, but it's also like
you don't.
You don't.
The best way to sum it up, bro, is it's a fun experience, but it's not an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
Yes. It's very cool. It's very unique. Being able to say you caught, as far as Americans go, being able to say you caught a python in the wild, it's not a common thing that a lot of people can say. So it's a cool thing to be able to say you did. Do I want to become a python hunter? No. My mental health could not handle that.
Yeah.
You see why? I mean, people ask me, why'd you stop or what made you stop? One, the people that you're around when you're doing it in the program. And 2, like Jake experienced, the mental guilt and distress you go through after catching one of these beautiful animals when it's not their fault. They're out there. They're just doing whatever natural situation they were thrown into. It sucks. And they're never going to be gone. As many as people catch and whatever happens, they will never be eradicated from South Florida. It is not like people think. Jake got a true taste of it. There's literally 3 counties at the bottom of South Florida that you can find these things, and it's condensed to the Everglades. They're not all over Florida, and they will just always be down there, regardless of how many get taken out. So, it's just an experience that's double-edged. It's cool as shit to see, and it's cool that they're there, but the impact that they have with the viruses and the parasites that they bring into the environment, plus the natural, ecosystem that they take out, basically the whole food chain of animals throughout their lifetime. These things become deer eaters and gator eaters at one point in their life. So it's just it's an effect that the ecosystem isn't there to handle. So
yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, it's and again, like we as herpers and snake lovers first, it's shitty, and it's something nobody wants to do. But I think that's the worst part of it is like the snakes didn't ask to be there. It's certainly not their fault. It's our fault, but such is life, I guess. And
Yeah.
as most things are, humans' fault.
Yep.
But and that's the other thing that I kind of want to drive home for anybody who doesn't know the Everglades or South Florida well. There's a lot of accounts on Instagram, a lot of popular accounts on Instagram and on social media that make it look like South Florida is just running rampant with pythons and other invasives all over the place.
Yeah.
And yes, they're there, but they're not just like trying to get into your house through your back door and like coming up and eating your dog in your backyard. Like these things are not running rampant everywhere like a lot of these places seem to, or a lot of these accounts seem to make it out to be. These people are taking footage over weeks and weeks in South Florida, catching firms and other invasives and whatever, and putting it into one video, and it's making it seem like the problem is like out of this world. Okay, like again, Phil's the perfect example. He's been herping there for years and years and years and years and years. Never seen a python. Like that to me is a testament of like, yes, they're there, but yet, yes, they're there. Yes, it's a problem. I'm not downplaying the problem. It is a problem. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying don't listen to the media as much as you would like to and what they make it seem to be, because
Yeah.
it's just not that.
Yeah.
So that's just something I want to say about that. Yes, you go to the city, you're going to find all kinds of invasive lizards. Like those are kind of everywhere, but again, they're in pockets. They're in these cities. Like you're not going to Ocala and seeing a bunch of brown basilisks and iguanas everywhere. Like it's literally these areas in South Florida, and even on like the highways, where I'm talking to Sky, and obviously I was making a joke, and I'm like, where are the pythons and iguanas? They're supposed to be fucking everywhere. Like, where are they? Like, I don't see anything, and obviously Sky, being like, you dude, they're actually not like here. Like they're not in spots. Like we might see a python. He's like, but as far as iguanas go and all the other invasive lizards, you're not going to see them till you get to the city, man. Like, and that goes to show it's like they're not just like everywhere out there, so I don't know. I do think I think it's really messed up how people are treating iguanas as far as like the bounty is concerned. People dragging them behind trucks and just like shooting them with pellet guns from so far away to let them slowly die out there. It shouldn't be like that. I understand they're not there, but these things shouldn't be mistreated like that because they're still beautiful animals that never asked to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just think people need that. Not that anybody listening to this anybody listening to this probably already feels that way, but the 1% chance somebody, that it might make a difference with, I feel like I do need to say that. So,
sure. Of course.
Yeah. I mean, overall though, man, I mean, trip of a freaking lifetime, dude.
It was.
And as a guy from South Carolina, I just want to say the biggest of thank yous to both of you for doing what you did for me. Sky, you drove for hours. I drove a long ways to you, and all that, but you drove probably longer than I did in the grand scheme of things. I drove all of 12 hours between of me actually driving. I was in a car a whole lot longer than that, but you drove a ton in South Florida while we were out there. The whole time you drove from your house to Florida. Phil, you drove all of Saturday night, and you really put us on some stuff. Sky, you had spots that you put me on, so genuinely, like you two made this trip absolutely incredible for a little country boy from South Carolina. So I appreciate y'all more than you.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
I was.
It's what we do, man.
Yeah, we killed it, man. Flippin' Tin, baby. I mean, come on,
baby.
And to anybody,
we will do our work.
That's right.
What I do think is funny is we didn't flip a single piece of tin on this trip.
Not a single one.
And honestly, like, not to be cocky, but kudos to us
Yeah.
for not going to a staged spot or like an enticement spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
100%.
rock and
Yeah.
roll.
And I do want to give out the sincerest of apologies for any of our South Florida peeps who hit us up, who we could not see. Joe and Kevin specifically, y'all hit us up, and I hope we didn't come off like dickheads, being like, "No, sorry, we can't." Like this was the rocket run of all rocket runs.
We were
We
on
talked-
such a time schedule. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was like, here's a couple hours of sleep. Otherwise, you need to be on the road. Plus, like we were saying, like we had a little bit of a plan, but the main goal was to kind of just get Jake down in South Florida and get him to see the area and see what it's like down there, so that this next trip, you'd be like, okay, I know where this is at. I know where that's at. I've seen these few things. Let's go down there and freaking rail these certain areas because I want this, and this. So this was just like a get Jake to South Florida and see what we can tick off. And we did exactly that, but we did not have any spare time to go hang out with anybody or go see collections, or like we literally had 20-30 minutes to sit down and eat dinner before we're like, all right, we got to head the fuck back because Phil's going to be soon and we're going to be on the road. So it was like Jake says, we were on a minute-to-minute schedule, rocket running. We were literally 36 hours of herping. The rest was us getting down there and driving back. Like, straight work.
I hope nobody took offense to us basically being like, we don't have time, because this was, again, this just balls to the wall herping. We were trying to accomplish a lot. We're going to try and plan it a lot better next time. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more time to go see some homies out there. There's 3 people off the top of my head I know I would like to go see, Joe, Kevin, and then maybe hit up John Lohman with
Palm Beach. I want to go see John and Kevin, and I'm sure if we're with them, Joe will show up. So
yeah.
Be dope.
The only reason we saw Phil, again, I hope that, no offense, Phil, but the only reason we saw Phil, he was like, I'm coming to y'all. I'm taking y'all road.
He was like, I'm coming to you guys.
All right, let's go. Like, if it would have been like, we have to drive to Phil and do his area. But that's the thing. We literally were in the spots that Phil wanted to take us to. We were in Phil's herping spots. So, like, it worked out very nicely for Phil to come to us and us go herping. So, Phil, very, very grateful to you, my friend.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
This was incredible.
It's been years that I've been wanting to get out with you, Phil, and to have
dude,
3 of our first trip together be as epic as this was, and to have a legitimate once in a lifetime experience to share together. Like, I'll cherish that night for the rest of my life, man. We had nothing but good time eating cookies, catching snakes, and looking at the friggin' beautiful sunset, man. Like,
that's
can't get much better than that.
It's what we do, man. I love it.
Finding literally once in a lifetime looking Nerodia and seeing once in a lifetime experience. Like, I mean, when I say I was texting Jake on Tuesday about this snake, you guys, I can't there's no exaggeration. I'm literally telling we're geeking out about a freaking band of water snake 3 days after our trip.
Right?
Yeah,
right.
no doubt.
Yeah.
It's funny, man. Like, I've known Phil. I've known you for what, 5 years now?
Probably, 5, maybe a little longer.
On.
Yeah,
maybe a little longer.
I think we met at, what was it? Carpet Fest, Southeastern Carpet Fest 2018.
Yeah, that's exactly when it was.
That's
the first Carpet Fest was when I met you. So it's been a little over 5, so going on 6 years. Yeah, that's awesome. But I tell you, man, as long as I've known you, I've always wanted to herp with you.
Oh, I appreciate that, bro.
The day I met you, I was like, damn, I need to go herp with Phil. Like, and I actually, a couple years ago, I was planning on taking like a week off of work, and this was before me and Sky were really close friends, and long before Flippin Tin was even a thought. I wanted to take a week off of work and just like herp my way down Florida and just like bounce from person to person.
Yeah.
And I hit you up about it, and I was like, dude, I want to do this, blah, blah. And you're like, bro, I'm really busy with work. I don't know, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, shit, I don't know if that's going to work out, And I ended up not doing the trip or whatever for.
Because of me?
No. It wasn't because of you solely.
Oh,
no, absolutely
all right.
But I had mentioned it, and I was like, man, I don't know if Phil would be able to do it. I don't really know anybody in South Florida. And then, like, I was going to do it but life happened, didn't have the
Yeah.
money needed. And frankly, like a trip like that is much better done with at least one other person with you.
Oh, for sure.
So that didn't happen, but so this was a big one for me for sure.
Good, man. I'm glad we got to do it.
Yeah,
I feel bad about back then. I'm sorry.
No, dude, it certainly wasn't your fault. Yeah, I just remember like asking you about it. You're like, bro, and you weren't like, I can't. You were basically like, yo, dude, like that sounds awesome and all, but you're like, I can't promise anything because like,
yeah,
I'm busy.
Yeah, if you weren't, if this wasn't a Saturday night, because I'm off Sundays, if this wasn't a Saturday night, I probably wouldn't have been like, I didn't get to go with you guys Friday because I'd be wrecked. I work all day Saturday. So I literally left work at 6 p.m. Like 6 p.m., 6:15, I was at Wawa pumping gas, and then 7:58, I'm hugging you guys.
Yeah.
So
and dude, honestly, you were a trooper with that because you didn't get home till what, 5 a.m?
Yeah, I walked in my front door at like 5:44, 5:42, something like that. Oh
God, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I went to bed and I woke up. My dog was like, "You're home. What's going on?" And like him and I went to bed, and then all of a sudden, like he starts getting all restless. He's like, "Dude, why are we still in bed? Dad, why are we still in bed?" And like,
you're supposed to be waking up right
now.
now.
And like he's standing on my like lifeless body, and then I look at the clock and it's like 10:40. I'm like, "Oh, you fucking wiener dog." So then I brought him downstairs, let him out, started my day. And dude, I went up passing out on the couch like 4 or 5 times more that day, just trying to get myself right. But it was worth it.
Yeah, dude, it was
worth it.
And honestly, I don't know how I made it back in one piece because like we went to bed a little after 4 a.m. Saturday night / Sunday morning, and we were up by 8:30.
Ugh, crazy.
And we left there by a little after 9.
9:10.
Yeah, somehow I was awake. We made great time getting back to Sky. It was about 3.5 hours. And then like I was expecting, I even told Sky, I was like, bro, I'm probably gonna sleep the whole ride to your place because like I need to not die on my way home.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Me and Sky just kept talking about the weekend and different stuff, like and plans for Flippin Tin because we were all hype and stayed up the whole way there, didn't sleep a freaking wink on the way to Skies. Got to Skies.
Did we even stop one time or no?
We did because you have the bladder of a squirrel. And we got lunch. We got Wendy's on the way back.
Yeah, that's right. That's
we only stopped like twice though. You did good for your poor bladder. And
I got to
condition.
When I got off of Alligator Alley onto Southeast Florida, I was starting to get a little drowsy. I was like listening to Flippin Tin with Rob, and I was just like, think of Rob. What would Rob Stone do? Rob Stone wouldn't get drowsy. Rob Stone wouldn't be thinking about sleep. And I just muscled through it, and I got home. That's it. Flippin Tin kept me going.
Yeah. And then like when I got to Skies, dude, I ain't gonna lie, man. I don't know how I did it, but I got to Skies. We loaded up. I grabbed my red eye. It was raining, and I left Skies' place at like what?
Right before 12.
Yeah, right at 1 o'clock or so. And I stopped. It's a little over a 5-hour drive from Sky's house to mine. I had like a little less than half a tank of gas, so I drove for an hour. I stopped and filled up gas as quick as I could because I was in the boonies. I didn't know when next gas would be, so I went ahead and filled up. Literally almost exactly 4 hours home. I didn't stop one single time on the way home. I was like, I'm wrecking this sucker. By the time I got home, I was about to piss my pants. My truck was almost out of gas. I was like, I'm not stopping.
It was like 7:30 or 8 o'clock when I texted you or some shit.
Yeah, you're like, hey dude, are you alive? I was like, yeah, I got home a little bit ago. No, I was.
No, you were like, I'm 10 minutes from home. I'm about to piss my pants. I only stopped once, and I was like, fucking hell, God, Jesus.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that late. I got home a little after 6. So you texted me like right at 6 when I was about to pull up home. I was going over the bridge when you texted me coming home, and whew, I slept like a rock that night, dude.
Oh yeah.
being in bed, like being in my bed, and just I slept so hard, dude.
That's it, man.
God, I went to bed early, didn't wake up till like 10, 11 o'clock. It was glorious.
Nice.
But then I was all like, I got to get in the snake room and look at everything, like make sure everybody's okay, you know, and we don't have eggs laying around anywhere. And
That's for the next morning.
yeah, that's exactly how that went.
I'm taking the
So.
pro tip next trip, bro.
Yeah. So, but we are nearly 3 hours into this sucker, so we're gonna call it a night. Thank you everybody that tuned in live. Thank you everybody who listens after hours, you know, on your way to work, all that good stuff. You could be listening to anybody. You could be listening to anybody, but you're listening to us, and we appreciate that so much. So thank you for the support. Again, make sure if you want a shirt, you missed out on the first order. Now they're just available whenever you want them. Hats are a no-go, but if you want a shirt, message the page. We'll get it set up. Send you a shirt. And with that, we'll leave you with our closing remarks of look and you will see, read and you will learn, think and you will know. That is from the book of rattlesnakes of the United States and Canada, which Phil actually gifted to me. So
Love it.
Circle, baby. Full circle.
Full circle. Get out and flip some tin, y'all. Plan a trip with your homies. You'll never forget it.
Rock on. Get out there. Flip the tin.
Listen to Venom Exchange Radio.
Yes, new Venom Exchange Radio coming out soon. Phil, I can't wait to listen to that. I love that podcast.
Thank you.
I love that podcast so much. Oh my God. It's great. I don't even keep Venomous, but
two illustrious voices on one podcast. Get real.
Get real.
Well, we're gonna do because we've been so behind. So this episode 25 will come out this weekend, and even though it's the end of the month, we're probably gonna put another one out in like a week or 10 days or so, which is gonna be on some new Venomous taxonomy and stuff that just got revised, just got discovered. A lot of cool stuff in the woodworks. Got a ton of guests lined up. So
awesome.
It's rock and roll, man.
Fantastic.
Can't wait, bro. Can't wait.
Well, thank you, everybody. Check out Venom Exchange Radio and all the good stuff. And then check out all the podcasts on the network. And
Make sure you guys send in some pictures with your Flippin Tin gear, even if it's your Flippin Tin gear and a pet that you have, or get out there and be a real Flippin Tin herper and send in a pic with your herps. You guys, come on, this gear works. You clearly can see it. We just showed you so much proof. It's in the pudding. And I'm not Bill Cosby. This is real proof, okay? Get with the program.
The snakes is in the pudding.
I love that. Well, thank you, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful evening, day, morning, whatever it be. Thank y'all.
Sheep.
Bye.